The 1993 AFL Premiership season is proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, BP Australia, Carlton and United Breweries, Telecom Australia, McDonald's and Foodland. In 1992, history was made when the AFL Premiership Cup left Victoria for the first time. Could it be in 1993 that the two best sides in the competition come from South Australia and Western Australia? Today we'll get some guide. The Adelaide Crows loom as the great improvers, and today they're hosts of the reigning premiers, the West Coast Eagles. This is AFL football at its very best. Coming to you from Football Park in Adelaide.
Hello everyone and welcome to Football Park here in Adelaide, South Australia for what should be a ripper of a game. It's the first home game of the year for the Adelaide Crows and they're taking on the reigning premiers, the West Coast Eagles. So wherever you may be viewing, I certainly hope you can stay with us right throughout the match. It's going to be a beauty. Conditions are ideal for football. More on that a little bit later. A lot of pressure on the home side, the Adelaide Crows. In fact, some people are suggesting that this is the most important game of football that they have played since entering the competition. Their recent form has been absolutely outstanding. After they got rid of North Melbourne, they came to the home and away series and they pummeled Richmond by just under 100 points. The West Coast Eagles, on the other hand, well, the Baby Bombers did a grand job against them and were with them for most of the day. The Eagles never really able to storm away, and the eventual margin was some 13 points. And some people are even asking, maybe, just maybe, the West Coast Eagles aren't quite ready for a game such as this. Bear in mind, the last couple of years, the Eagles have taken a bit of time to build, but once they have, they've been quite a formidable unit. Now, the crowd here is quite incredible. They've been arriving, well, since probably 2 o'clock local time this afternoon. I arrived shortly after that, and there were thousands already here, and they are still standing outside. I wouldn't be surprised if the gates are shut, and I also wouldn't be surprised if we have a new record crowd here at Football Park tonight. So it's going to be a marvellous atmosphere. Captains and coaches, well, Graham Corn celebrated his 45th birthday during the week. What a lovely present this would be to upset the reigning champs. He's at the helm for the Crows. His skipper is once again Chris McDermott. No change from the West either. Michael Malthouse and John Worsfold leading the way there. And leading the way in the special comments department, he knows what the crowd's all about here, ladies and gentlemen, because he left the cab and walked. Bernie Quinlan, good evening and welcome. It was incredible, wasn't it?
Good evening, Sandy. Yes, very tough to get into the ground. It took about 45 minutes to get from the airport. And they're still trying to get into the ground. The record, of course, is 46,000 in round 23 against Geelong last year. And I think that record will be threatened here tonight as we have a look at the Adelaide side. Nigel Smart with a big job picking up Peter Sumich. Maynard, who's played in every game that the Adelaide Crows have participated in. Very important at the midfield with Jarman, McDermott. Tregenza might get the job on the very dangerous Matera. And Motta, of course, 10 goals last week was terrific. They've got a good follow-up going in for Rennie Pittman. He's pretty big and mobile. West Coast Eagles side, well, they're the proven performers, of course. Jakovic at centre-half forward, a class player. McIntosh, magnificent last week. Sumich kicked 7 goals, 9, just kept getting the ball all day. Didn't kick straight, but he could get over 10, 15 shots at goal. He's a very dangerous player. And Matera, what a player he is. Fantastic on the wing. And also Kemp, another very dangerous player that the Adelaide Crows must watch.
It's going to be a grand clash as we check the record, Bernie. And for the West Coast, it's 3 out of 3, so the Crows have got something to prove. They've met 3 times. The biggest winning margin has been quite significant, but that was in 1991. The West Coast successful by 65 points. Joining us behind the microphones tonight will be Dennis Cometti, and down on the boundary line, the elusive Max Stevens. Stay with us. It's going to be a big night on 7. We'll be back with the two sides out on the ground shortly.
I'm Mark Bickley from the Adelaide Crows, and you're watching the AFL on Channel 7.
The name of the game is Australia. Michael J. Fox.
No problem.
Kiefer Sutherland.
I'm going to take the rest of the afternoon off.
Two New York party animals
Want to join the party?
who never let work stand in the way of a good time.
It's a dirty job, Jamie, but somebody's got to do it.
Phoebe Cates, Charlie Schlatter, Michael J. Fox and Kiefer Sutherland.
Jamie, I'd like you to meet Stevie. You want a dance?
And introducing Fred the Ferret.
Screw it! Not in me!
Bright Lights Big City. Premieres Monday on Channel 7.
Agostino Mitsubishi, where you'll always get a fair deal. If not, I'll shave my mow off.
Outlaw, lover, hero, Van Damme as you've never seen him before. Nowhere to run.
Welcome back to Football Park in South Australia. Ideal conditions. For more on that with the Mitsubishi Motors Ground Report, welcome to Max Stevens. Max?
Very good afternoon, Sandy, and you're right, conditions here perfect for football. Not a breath of wind, but let's hope it's not the calm before the storm, because there are a few showers on the way. The current temperature is 22, overnight low 15 degrees. The wind, well, none at the moment whatsoever. Ground, gold advantage, nil. Ground condition excellent. The forecast, mild to warm, cloudy conditions, a westerly change late in the day, and unfortunately the chance of a shower or two.
Thank you, Max. And Max will be keeping us up to date with everything that's happening from the boundary line throughout this match. As it's a warm welcome now to Dennis Cometti. Good evening, Den.
Evening, Sandy. How are you?
Welcome to 1993, by the way.
Good to be here.
And we were discussing the Eagles briefly. Do you think perhaps they are still building as we've seen them do early in recent seasons?
A little underdone, a few missing, yes. They've got Mainwaring, Brennan, Evans, Waterman, Langdon out of their team. So last week they did enough for victory. They squandered a few opportunities. I saw the Crows last Sunday against Richmond. They kicked 28 goals. You've got to kick them. They played pretty well. I think the Crows could win this.
Yes, their running players have been superb. Chris McDermott has been leading the way. So here we go, the opening bounce. Marvellous atmosphere. The Crows are away. McDermott rides the bump. The ball spills free. They lock it up, still inside the middle. In fact, there's a West Coast free kick being plucked out of that. And it's going to be Robbie West to the half-forward line. West's kick is a good one. And Hetty takes the mark, but he's still outside 50. Sumich gives him the lead. Is ignored. Goes longer. Up towards full forward. Pressure now on the defence of the Crows as Hines swings round and gets the first score of the game with a behind.
Craig Turley and
nearest camera.
Matthew Connell on the bench for the West Coast Eagles.
As the ball is brought back into play, McDermott takes the hand pass and away he goes over the centre. The Crows quickly up towards the half-forward line, trying to do the work from behind with Chris Groom. It's not effective. Anderson going fast but couldn't take the football. Wilson pushed off it, but he does get a kick away towards McKenna. McKenna over the top finds West once again. And again, the Eagles out of trouble. Over centre wing, up towards Lewis at half-forward. Jakovic is at the bottom. Play on is the call. Smart written into the ground. No one able to get clearly away. And eventually the umpire comes in for a bounce. Umpires Darren Goldspink and Brian Sheehan are in charge of proceedings here at the park as we check out the bench for the Crows.
Jamison and Rose standing on the bench. At the top, Jakovic. Smart towards the boundary line. Worsfold with some time. Oof. Wiedemann arriving quickly. Riddled around the outer side by Harding. Over the top, Pike. It's a free kick up the field anyway, Den, but a good mark by Pike.
Goes looking for Sumich. At the third attempt, he's spilt it. Crashing in Metropolis. Dragged off it. Still he goes. Pittman. Was it in the back to Metropolis? No. Holding the ball. Either that or he threw it.
I think a throw was called, Dennis.
So Brown. Chips it across to right half back. This is Bickley. Getting plenty of advice from this big crowd. He kicks towards the wing. In front was Jarman. Scrambled forward by West. Was it a push in the back? I think it was to Groom. Crummell defending there. So Groom has the ball. Forward of half back. Goes for distance. Down towards right half forward. Up was Jakovic. It falls to Anderson, who kicks it the wrong way. About 20 metres there for the West Coast Eagles, or was it? No. But virtually put the Eagles in with a chance. This is Matera. Matera boots it out wide. Now Brown. Plenty of space to operate in. Brown at left half forward.
On the 50-metre line. David Brown goes with the left foot high in towards full forward. No one at home, however. And Guy McKenna takes the mark. McKenna defends from half back. Finds Worsfold. The skipper chips up towards the defensive 50-metre line, and Harding takes the mark. He in turn goes short once again. White. Off to West. Picking up early touches. Beautifully picked up on the half volley. Here's a chance now for the Crows to repel through Hart. And he goes with strong football down towards his 50-metre line. Wilson's hand pass goes astray. Picked up by Anderson. Anderson inside 50 once again, but it's hammered towards the line by McIntosh and over the line. Affectionately known as Millie. Bernie?
Is that right? But just having a look at the few matchups, Sandy. Dwayne Lamb picking up Tony McGuinness. Nigel Smart playing at centre-half back on Alan Jakovic. Rouvray with the job on Peter Sumich.
Throw in inside 50. Crows attacking zone. They've got the chance now through Brown. Left foot snap. That's good. That's their first. David Brown opens the scoring for the Crows, and they lead by 5 points.
Well, a great start by Adelaide in front of their home crowd. Of course, it's a big advantage, a parochial crowd. And Adelaide off to a very good start. Pittman doing okay in the middle. We've got another match-up with Jarman being tagged by Pike. And Bickley's picking up the very dangerous Brett Heddy. And McIntosh playing full-back on Modric.
Crows by 5 points. Warm night, massive crowd. McGuinness in deep trouble. And the whistle. Bounced in alongside the centre circle. The ground in glorious condition. The Crows big winners last Sunday. A lot expected of them tonight. So much in the press about their claims now. Suddenly, they're contenders according to the locals. This is Jarman. Goes nicely at close quarters. McDermott, quick hands. Releases Smart. Smart on the wing. Goes down towards half forward. Ross kept out of it well by Kemp. And the clever mark is taken in front by McKenna. This is Wilson up from the back pocket. Goes out wide. Intended there for Jakovic. Backward bounce. Ricochets off his body. And it will be thrown in on the outer side. So a behind to the Eagles. And the Crows are a goal. Jakovic, who played so well last week at centre-half forward. Harding in front. Pittman reaching over the top. On his knees, Maynard. Wiedemann in trouble. Scrambled to kick about 10 metres. Kemp didn't have it. He'll get the free kick.
Dean Kemp, the reigning best and fairest, and playing his 50th successive game for the club. So he's had a very good run. To half forward. Good-looking kick. Could have been some pushing and shoving going on in there. Metropolis was the meat in the sandwich. He's going to take the free kick just outside 50. Goes long into the square. Might just about make the distance though. Taken on the last line of defence by big David Pittman.
He did well to get back there, Dennis. Good defensive work by the ruckman.
Pittman's kick to half back. Kemp defends well from behind. Here's Matera. Baru. A high kick in towards full forward. Plenty of flyers, but fisted by Pittman once again to the safety of the boundary line.
And some Greg Anderson playing on Peter Matera. So two very experienced players there.
5 points the margin, favouring the Crows. Still night, a lot of humidity in the air. Pittman uses the body well, gives it to Lee. Up towards centre wing.
The big flyer was Chris Groom, couldn't take the mark. He's seen his teammate take a free kick. That's Rodney Maynard going in towards the centre. Chance now for Crummell. And he starts something for the Eagles. Worsfold on the end of the hand pass. Now they're away. Up towards the 50-metre line they go. Matera. Look at him go! Peter Matera, 20 metres out, and he should have finished it off. But, by gee, he looks exciting when he's going, Bernie.
No, he's a great player, isn't he? He won a big award in Western Australia, didn't he, Dennis? The Caltex Western Australian Sports Star of the Year.
He did indeed. First time by a footballer, I think.
Tremendous effort. Of course, with that great game in the grand final last year.
Hart, virtually straight down the middle. Harding and Pittman. Former slaps it away. Metropolis did pretty well. Charged down there by Jarman to McGuinness. This is Anderson doing well early too. Probing kick down towards the attacking 50. Strong mark. McKenna breaks away. Feeds Pike. Forward of right half back. Goes down towards right half forward. Heady's in front, working hard against Bickley. Bickley and Heady, a lot of talent there. Wiedemann very crude. It's going to be a free kick to Bickley, but Wiedemann was lucky there. He made a beeline for Heady. Meantime, across it comes to Jarman, to Smart. Smart through the middle. Long kick inside the 50. A very good kick. Ross, almost. Modra to Liptak. The mark was not paid. Liptak from 45 metres. Out of bounds on the full. He missed by a long, long way.
There's the crowd calling for the mark, but definitely no mark there. They could have probably done better than that, the Adelaide Crows, on that occasion.
Kick towards McIntosh was not good. Tony Modra around his body, but only as far as Wilson, tucked in the back pocket. He's got White at half back. And he lopes from that position. Spears one to Lewis. Still on the defensive side of centre. Can go back again. Now White longer. Up to half forward. Out charges Sumich. Got a hand to it, but that was all. Crow defence working well. They're out of trouble through Rouvray once again. Wiedemann pushing further forward. Maynard there also. Could have been a throw. Advantage is going to be paid to the way of the Crows, and Rouvray's away. Out of trouble they go. Up towards the half-forward line. The big fly was Jonathan Ross, but illegally so, says the umpire, and it's an Eagles ball once again.
There's free kick, obviously free kick against Jonathan Ross there, and McKenna doing pretty well in the back line already for the Eagles.
Made it awkward for Harding. The half volley pitched one at his bootstraps. Around the outer side, Maynard, superb mark. Now Ross needs to play in front if he's going to be the target here. Tregenza towards centre half forward. Ross over the top, that's better. He led McKenna to the ball. He plays on immediately to Brown, to Anderson, who can kick a goal. 35 metres out, through it goes.
The name of the game is Australia.
Mate, we've got to get a hold of London.
Yeah, Antwerp too.
If we don't call them now, they'll be onto this claim like a seagull onto a sick pond.
Yeah?
Hello?
Use Telecom, mate. For local or international phones or faxes. Only Telecom can connect you from any phone in Australia to anywhere in the world.
You haven't got a fax machine, have you, mate?
Telecom service. We're talking anywhere to anywhere.
There's a mountain of specials in store for you this week at Foodland, like stalk margarine at just 79 cents. Papa Giuseppe Pizza a low $2.99. Coke, Fanta, Lift and Sprite only $1.79. Arnott's Jats, Shapes and Scotch Finger Biscuits $1.29. Blade Bowler Roaster Great Buy at $3.99 a kilo. And Foodland Fresh Tomatoes just $1.89 a kilo.
Foodland, the mighty south of the year.
G'day. I'm just seeing if I've won $10,000. You see, right now, there's a scratch and win card in every carton of VB cans of Stubbies, with instant prizes from $2 to 10 grand. And every card can win. Yeah, $10. Better than a poke in the eye, eh? Anyway, look for cartons like these, because a hard-earned thirst could win you an instant $10,000.
What will kids think of next?
chances are your kid might be thinking about popping another pill, one that looks harmless but can be deadly. A special report on 7 News Monday.
Wednesday, the kids go snooping in Betty's diary.
It's not very exciting, is it?
Oh, it's about as interesting as watching paint dry. Friday 22nd, painted a chair, watched it dry. Very interesting.
Hey Dad, followed by the Newlyweds from 7:30 Wednesday on 7.
Anderson gets his first and the Crows second. Anderson and Matera. What a duel that's going to be as the Crows go into attack again through Matthew Liptak, but only as far as half forward and only as far as McKenna. Worsfold doing some heavy work behind
He's
the
hurt
play.
too, Sandy.
We'll keep an eye on him. Max will have a report, I'm sure, as Matera.
I think it's Jonathan Ross.
Sneaks away from Anderson. Goes up towards the right half forward line, but a good tackle. A solid tackle by Paul Rouvray. And he gets it for holding the ball.
That is Jonathan Ross, the player that's been injured. Maybe a hip, a very heavy hip and shoulder from Johnny Worsfold. He's in real strife.
Good solid work by Worsfold to centre wing. McGuinness waiting down. Oh, that's quick hands to McDermott. They're the players the Eagles are going to have to try and stop the running players. McKenna's made a wonderful start to this game. He's holding that back line together.
Well, his opponent's down on the ground at the moment too, Sandy, so he's a loose man in defence.
Now, if you're wondering about the boos, Peter Matera was just saying to Greg Anderson during the break, you've got one goal, but that might be all you'll get. A long way to go in this game. Matera towards the 50-metre line. Oh, Hines takes a spectacular mark. Well, the night is tailor-made for football. And two very classy sides. Jarman defends and gives away behind. Just preventing Lewis getting to the football. 9 points favouring the Crows.
Jamison preparing to come on to the Crows. A stretcher out there for Jonathan Ross. It was a very heavy hip and shoulder, but completely fair from John Worsfold.
Bad luck for this youngster. The game is stopped. And Jamison, an ideal replacement to go onto the half-forward flank.
Gee, that is bad luck. It looks like it is a very serious injury too.
A very strong shepherd as he pursued McKenna away from half-back. So Jonathan Ross starting on the forward line. Coming off on a stretcher. Generous applause. The stakes are high tonight, and it's being played accordingly. These two sides have met 3 times in history at 3 different venues: Subiaco Oval, Football Park, and the Wacker. Watch this.
Here's the replay, and Johnny Worsfold just coming in, providing the heavy bump. Both players preparing to bump, so he wasn't. It wasn't as if he was unaware that Worsfold was coming in. He was completely prepared for the bump. Worsfold had his elbow down.
Yeah.
It was good play, actually, by John Worsfold. Yeah. Terrific hard play at the ball. Not at the ball, but hard at the player that was trying to tackle.
Yeah, hard contact there, but so often these serious injuries, and we presume that could be one, come from what seems to be rather nebulous stuff. So the kick from Lee to the outer side. In front, almost the mark out there to Maynard. He was pushed in the back. So Maynard has the ball. The defensive side of right half-back goes to the wing with the kick. White is looking at Smart. Smart almost took the mark. McDermott has been very busy. 27 hand passes last week. Maynard, Tregenza looking to lay it off. Forced to kick down towards half-forward. Lucky. Liptak to Brown. They're running well again. On the lead is Modra. Thought he was grabbed by the arm. No free kick. McKenna to McIntosh. Kicks it towards the outer side. Over the top, Smart. Great attempt to mark. McDermott again. Wiedemann on the wing. Long kick. Here comes Modra again. Up he goes. Missed the mark. McKenna, who's been terrific, leaves it for McIntosh. Sweeping hand pass out wide. Awkward one for Worsfold. Picked up by Wilson. He played so well last week against the Bombers. Boots it to the outer side. Smart there. Crashing in was Lewis. Grabbed Wiedemann by the leg, but play goes on. The advantage was paid. This is McGuinness.
With a long kick up towards the half-forward line. Well spoilt by West at the back. Waiting is McKenna. Quickly off to Wilson. Now pressure on the Eagles' defence, and he heads for safety once more on the boundary line. Great crowd in attendance here at Football Park. It was like a carnival atmosphere coming in this afternoon for the first home game for the Crows for the year.
barbecues in the car park, and we were treated like the clouds.
McIntosh.
Met heavily.
Certainly was. Kemp is away. Amble's out of defence. Matera. Away goes the root. 3 bounces from 50 metres. He sets sail for goal, and again, perhaps trying a little too hard away to the right.
They're the ones he kicked in last year's grand final against Geelong from even outside the 50-metre line. So two possibilities, just gone slightly astray there for Peter Matera.
Crows by 9 points. But in the Eagles' attacking zone at the moment. Metropolis, head down, working hard. Lewis, Wiedemann at the bottom. Heady, oh, what a snap. Oh, what a snap. Fantastic goal by Brett Heady.
Yes, he's a wonderful player. The West Coast first goal, Brett Heady, being picked up, I think, by Mark Bickley. Yes, he is. Bickley, of course, third in Adelaide's best and fairest last year. Had a wonderful season for the Adelaide Crows. As we see this in replay, just a great goal sense there by Brett Heady. He didn't have a look, didn't have time to have a look, just slammed it onto his boot.
Eagles fans had to wait a while, but worth waiting for. Great goal. The margin is 3 points. The breeze not a factor. Pittman gets it down. Kemp almost pushed in the back. Matera has been busy. High kick, floats it towards the opposite side of the ground. Crummell did well, fisted away from Tregenza. Smart in front, flicks it out. Jarman knocks it on brilliantly. McDermott draws the man, sends Tregenza into space. He storms around the outer side. He settles. Another winger going for goal. Another winger misses across the face and forced through for a behind. Anderson's kicked one. Matera's had a couple of opportunities, and Tregenza that time on fire around the outer side. The margin is 4 points. Just over 11 minutes till quarter time. This is Wilson in the back pocket. Goes to the outer side. Lamb, forward of half-back, goes to half-forward. Jakovic and Smart. Smart, the clever mark.
Quickly off to Bickley. Now McGuinness. Crows full of run. 3 bounces by Tony McGuinness. Over the top to Anderson. Danger here for the Eagles as Anderson's high kick goes up towards full forward. This time the mark is taken from behind. And this time Chris Groom will have a shot directly in front.
Yes, that play set up by Tony McGuinness running through half-back. He got away from his tag there in Dwayne Lamb. Had a lot of space, a couple of bounces. And good use of the body by Groom. Chris Groom taking that mark.
Straight through the middle. Groom gets his first. And it's the Crows' third. 3-1 at 19. They lead by 10 points here at Football Park.
Been very impressive so far. Very quick by hands, the Crows. The side very adept at running. Terrific around midfield. Jarman, McDermott, leading hand passes in the competition last week. They're really setting things up, and also with the runner McGuinness. They're doing it pretty well early in the match.
Confidence booster for Chris Groom. Back in the middle once again, just on 10 minutes remaining in this first quarter. The honours at the moment with the home side, but very early days. Wiedemann traps it in the middle and he tries to farm it out. But Matera again is proving dangerous. Oh, Wiedemann hands one out to him. A good, solid, fair bump as Jarman gets a hurry kick up towards the left half forward flank. The Eagles have the numbers. Wilson. Worsfold. Towards Heady. At the back was Jakovic, and he judged it better than anyone. So Glenn Jakovic still outside 50. Trying to run round the man on the mark. He does. Goes in towards the right forward pocket. Hines was the big fly. Couldn't quite complete the mark. The big man keeps on going. Gets caught. Goes to ground. Gets it back to Jakovic. It bounces on to Lewis. This will be amazing if he kicks this. No, McDermott is on the last line of defence, and he can bounce his way out of trouble for the Crows.
Well, Kemp was on in the middle. McDermott goes in short. This is Maynard from right half back. Thumping kick around the outer side. Groom's in front. Fisted away by White. Harding over the ball now. Did well in a tight situation. White comes again. Back to Pine. White held a long time in the tackle. Advantage is paid after the free kick was awarded. This is Wilson on the outer side. He walks to the ball, stops, and kicks it down inside the 50. Sumic comes on the lead. He was pushed in the back. He'll get the free kick. Interesting, Rouvray played on Sumic in a practice game at Kalgoorlie back in February and did very well. He's quick over the ground, Rouvray. This time hanging on as well with that left hand, so a good decision by the umpire. And Sumic, who kicked 7-8 last Sunday, took 13 marks in that game. But for all his critics, perhaps the first bona fide champion for the West Coast Eagles. To a kick from outside the 50. Behind.
Yes, the wrong side for Peter Sumic. Always drags the ball across his body, a typical left footer.
Let's go down to the boundary line. Max, what news do you have on Jonathan Ross?
Very little news, Sandy. At this stage, it's a knee injury. The doctors are continuing to examine it, but I think it's fair to say he'll be taking no further part in this game.
Well, it's bad news. Knees usually spell major trouble. Let's hope that he's going to be okay. Maynard takes a fine mark. The Crows come out of defence. They're in the middle of the ground now, and a chance through Tregenza to go up towards full forward. Tregenza's kick is good, and there's a mighty mark taken by Modra. 10-3 last week, and he too took 13 marks.
And what a build-up by the Crows. Very similar to the night match, when they completely thrashed North Melbourne over here. Gee, they're a promising side.
So Modra going for his first for the night. Almost directly in front, 40 metres out. Drop punts on its way, swinging away to the left. Not the start he wanted.
No, he's up against a very tough opponent tonight too in Ashley McIntosh. He must make the most of every opportunity.
(3-2) plays 1-4. Crows having the advantage. Kemp from half-back. Some heavy work again from Wiedemann. But fair. Into the middle. The race is on. Maynard. The Crows have the numbers. They've got them everywhere. Bickley. In towards half-forward. McGuinness is the target. Couldn't take it. White there. Socket towards McIntosh, who in turn heads for the boundary line. On his hammer is Modra. McIntosh has got to beat a couple of them. Broom is there. The big man picks it up. Has a snap in towards full forward, but the only one home is Johnny Westfold. And the skipper just cools things down for a moment. Kemp from half-back will go to Heady almost in the middle.
Wants to play on. Not the best option. Bickley was right on him. Pikes kick down towards half-forward. Chance for Lewis, who went off the ground. He goes after it again. Didn't have it. Could have almost got a free kick. In goes Smart. After it, Matera. The hand pass up in the air from Lee. Metropolis played it pretty well. At close quarters to Kemp. Hurried kick. He's got the courage. He stood under that one, Heady, and took the mark.
He's taking him back 50 metres too for that, Dennis. Well, I think the law says that if the player arrives late and he is not attempting to take the mark, a 50-metre penalty will be paid, as we see this in replay. Bickley had no effort at the ball whatsoever. It was completely at the player.
Heady right in front, gets the goal. Heady gets his second, and the Eagles creep closer, the margin back to 4 points.
Well, Brett Heady, a real class player for the West Coast Eagles. Let's have a look at this in replay. The kick coming here from Metropolis. The hand pass actually to Kemp getting the kick. And there's the mark. Well, the touch and go really with that penalty, but the spirit of the law says that if the player is not attacking the ball and he arrives there late, it must be a 50-metre penalty.
4 points the margin here at Football Park. Just under 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And what has been a very high standard first quarter too. Been great stuff. The Crows out of the middle. Through McGuinness up towards the 50-metre line. Brown looking to go straight past with the football flying, but not to be. Socket off the ground by White. At the bottom was Crummell. West lending support. Towards centre wing and Jakovic. Close to the boundary line and, well, it's going to stay in. He might go again. He does. And gains probably 30 metres. In fact, the ball is still in play. Sumich comes to me. That looks close to out of bounds. And this time,
No attempt by Ben Hart to go on with proceedings. So a throw in on that outer side in front of the main scoreboard here at Football Park. 3-2 Adelaide. The West Coast are 2-4. Brett Heady, the only multiple scorer at the moment with a couple of goals. Lamb almost threw it out. He's going to get it back again. Wayne Lamb, and he's ridden into the ground by McDermott. Jarman burrows in there as well and locks it up.
Yeah, great tackle, Chris McDermott.
An important couple of minutes just prior to quarter time. It's important that no one tries to break away. Jarman has it stolen. McDermott. You see McDermott go with a hand pass. You know that McGuinness isn't too far away.
27 hand passes last week, Chris McDermott. Andrew Jarman had 19, the two leading handballers in the competition.
Hines doing the work from behind. Could have almost been a free kick for holding there to Scotty Lee. Not paid. McGuinness over the line. So a stalemate on that outer side. Harding doing the ruck work this time. Or Kemp. Wiedemann. Jarman. Crows away. Jarman's kick up over centre wing. No mark taken. Trying to get it out was West. Now McKenna under pressure, but gets a kick close to the boundary line as Jakovic was out on the full. No, just kept it in play. The high kick up towards half forward. Once again, the Crows have the numbers, and David Pittman takes a timely mark at half back.
David Pittman, who was drafted by Essendon back in '89, stayed at Norwood, getting his chance with the Crows. McKenna, clever hand pass. This is Kemp, close to the boundary line. Still he goes. McKenna slides in. Is it out of bounds? I think it is. And it will be thrown in.
He was over the ball for a long time, wasn't he, Sandy? I think that may have been in your mind, was it?
Yes.
Could have been a free kick.
Harding's getting one of those now. He's on the wing. Pike is on for the short one. Down towards half forward. Pike, some indecision. And now, down the ground, Sumich was being held according to the umpire and will get the free kick.
Well, the umpire was right on the spot, Dennis. It looks like it may have been against Pittman. And getting back in defence to help out Rouvray. A very tough job, of course, trying to keep Peter Sumich goalless.
So this for the lead. Peter Sumich directly in front, 30 metres out, has missed. 2-5 to 3-2. The Crows still in front, approaching quarter time. There's the time remaining. And Sumich very disappointed with that effort. Hart to Rouvray. Unforgivable. He should get that sort of space. Rouvray towards the wing. West did well but dropped the mark. Matera against the flow. Held it up nicely. This is Pike. Down towards half forward. Hines can take it and go. Thought about it. Wiedemann arrives. Lewis runs on. Hines, who did so well for South Australia on this ground last season against Victoria, uses the ball very well and finds Sumich on the lead. So Sumich now will kick from right on the 50. He likes this sort of area on the ground, bending it back from left to right.
Yeah, the distance shouldn't worry him, Dennis. He makes it quite regularly from 50 metres. And as you say, this is his favourite side for kicking goals, Peter Sumich.
Virtually finishes every week with the Ruck Rovers stats.
Missed again.
To the near side this time. He's got it surrounded.
Well, 7-8 last week. Things haven't got away to the best of starts for him this week. It's still early days. There's only 2 points the difference now. Hart. On the outer side he can run. Drifted into the centre. And Tregenza leaves it for Groom.
Groom gets the hand pass onto Maynard, down to full forward, and another good mark in front of the eyes taken by Modra.
That's a brilliant mark, isn't it? Yeah. Terrific stuff by Tony Modra.
Did that last week too, Bernie. Very strong hands when it's coming in flat and hard about head high. Terrific.
And up against class opposition there too in Ashley McIntosh, who's apparently, or supposedly, the quickest player in the West Coast Eagles lineup.
Modra going for his first. From 47 metres, good-looking kick, and a very handy one after the siren. So the lead is out to 8 points. It's quarter time here at Football Park in the Battle of the Birds. And at the moment, the Crows showing the way. 4-2, 26, leading Eagles 2-6-18.
The name of the game is Australia.
The international version of Magna is making a big noise overseas. One reason is that it has a great V6 engine. Now Mitsubishi is proud to introduce the Magna V6 to Australia. Luxurious, refined, and with all the power you need. The Mitsubishi Magna Executive V6, sedan and wagon, a welcome addition to the Magna range.
I run a small furniture business. I make a lot of phone calls to my buyers in Melbourne. That's why I have a Telecom Select Saver Flexi plan. I can pick one STD area code, and for only $1 a month, I can save 10% off every call I make to that area, day or night. Telecom Select Saver is going to become part of the furniture.
Telecom Select Saver. We're talking real savings.
The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. Well, the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town.
Don't miss out on buying your 1993 Camry Crows season ticket. Special new reserved seating areas have just been released and good seats are still available. And remember, if you buy your season ticket, your football dollars stay in South Australia. Call Bass Dial and Charge now, but don't miss out because the boys are back in town.
Boys are back in town.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Sorry, it's my shout.
No, it's my shout.
You paid last time. It's my shout.
All right, I'll top you for it.
There's not much we Australians won't bet on. But if you want to win up to $500,000, your best bet is Club Keno. You choose how much you want to win. And with Club Keno Easy Pick, you don't even have to fill out your own entry coupon.
Heads.
Thank you.
You come down with those rows.
Club Keno. It's a better bet.
Every time I touch or feel a woolen garment, I honestly believe that God meant us to wear clothing made from wool.
The only way you'll buy top-name sports shoes at $79.95 and $59.95 is to buy them now in Rowan Jarman's final 48-hour shoe sellout. All sellout shoes are half price and less. Assorted top-name shoes from Nike, Reebok, Fila, Asics and Adidas at just $79.95 and $59.95. All prices are genuine and will never be repeated at half price or less. Don't miss out. Rowan Jarman's final 48-hour shoe sellout.
Tuesday, an eccentric old lady is found cruelly slain in her own home.
She's very severely beaten.
An armed robber terrorizes 3 RSL employees before escaping down a city street.
Victims in this instance suffered a terrible trauma.
And do you know the whereabouts of Gordon Archer? He left to meet a stranger carrying a large amount of cash. And all that's been found is his burnt-out car on a lonely track.
I want someone to come and tell me who did it.
Australia's Most Wanted, 8:30 Tuesday.
Let's now go down to the boundary line. Both sides are broken up and are getting ready for the second quarter. Max, what news do you have?
Well, just quickly, the situation, Michael Malthouse, he wants more desperation. He wants the Crows stopped at all costs. Graham Corns, keep the pressure on, keep attacking. He's asked Paul Rouvray to wear Peter Sumich like a glove. He's a class ball forward. You can't afford to let him go. Jonathan Ross, an update, a knee injury, but it's not as serious as first thoughts.
Well, that's very good news for Crow fans and for the Ross family. 2-6, the Eagles, Bernie, in that first quarter. It could have been a much better looking scoreline had they kicked straight, but time will tell what they do in the second. It's going to start with a smile from Paul Harding. The margin is only 8 points. Here we go. Harding beaten for it, and the Crows very quickly through Anderson after taking the hand pass from Liptak down towards full forward. Modra takes the mark.
Once again, he just continued to lead all the time, Tony Modra. And that's the way a full forward must play. He's not over tall. In fact, Tony Modra is only 188 centimetres, which is not overly tall in modern football to be playing in the key position. But his movement makes him a very good player.
Putting a bit of pressure on Scott Hodges as he barrels through his second. Great start to the second quarter by the Crows.
Yes, he burst on the scene a couple of years ago in the Foster's Cup, Tony Modra, playing against Footscray. He marked everything that came his way that night, kicked 6 goals playing under the lights. And he looked a terrific prospect in those days even. And here we see again, he's not afraid to get in front and just position his body very well to take a strong mark in front of McIntosh.
Tony Modra playing his 10th AFL game, 33 goals so far. Of course, 10 coming in that big bag against the Tigers last Sunday at the MCG. Down goes McDermott. Liptak, he was legged. He'll get the free kick.
They're very good at close quarters, aren't they, the Crows? Very quick with their hands. A lot of backup support.
In front, Wilson. Plays on. Where will he go? He runs it out. Kicks for space. Tregenza leads back in the race. He's got some time on the wing now. A little kick, gained about 20 metres. Liptak, surrounded by Eagles, left it behind. Shoveled out by Lamb, chopped off by Jarman. Tregenza, high towards the 50. Wilson, good grab. Rose on the ground. Jamison, who replaced Ross, came off at quarter time. Crummell, left half back. Tall wingman. Kicks towards half forward. Jakovic. Good leap. Jakovic told to play on. Boots it down towards the 50. Here comes Sumic again. Bickley, superb attempt at the mark. He's been paid a free kick, I fancy.
And Sumic is in big trouble, I think, Dennis. May have copped a knee there from Bickley.
Sumic is down. Bickley is hurt as well. He's squatting. Meantime, McDermott towards the wing. Maynard controls it to his own advantage. Well played. Wiedemann gets by Wilson. Goes for distance. Here comes Modra again. McIntosh employing new tactics. Got in front. Liptak. Socked it away down there by White. White with some time. Out of the back pocket. Kicks it straight to McDermott. McDermott's marked on the 50. He played for 50. And the crowd virtually on their feet in the stand. It wasn't 50. Chris McDermott really putting on something of an act there, and why not?
A bad play, wasn't it? Out of defence, coming there from Mitchell White. Terrible kick.
He had some time, did White. McDermott, that's why he wanted the 50. It falls about 5 short and goes through for a behind.
Sumic back on his feet at the other end of the ground, but hands on hips and certainly not yet 100%.
Well, Liptak, or rather, it was Bickley going back, who was spinning out of control and collected him with an involuntary action.
33 plays 18, favouring the Crows. McIntosh wants Harding. The Crows have got the numbers everywhere. Jarman gives it to Tregenza from 60 metres. Drop punt high, but this time no one at home. McIntosh, they'll take the advantage. Off to Kemp. Dean Kemp goes over the top. And they're away.
I thought he paid the mark there, Sandy. You can't pay advantage from a mark.
No. To centre wing. Bickley again. Appears to be okay. Scott Lee cops one and goes to ground. McGuinness does a 360 but gets the handball pass out straight to West. High back towards centre wing. And again, the mark taken by Bickley. And again, the charge for 50 metres by this somewhat parochial crowd, and they get it.
And the players really just have to be more disciplined in a situation like that. They know the umpire right on the spot. After a player has taken the mark, there's really just no point in pushing a player to the ground. There wasn't a lot in it.
Well, in fairness to McIntosh, I was looking down the ground. He slipped as Modra started.
It's causing a few headaches at the moment, though, Tony Modra, with his very quick leads.
Beautiful pass.
Yes, magnificent.
Modra, just inside 40 metres, straight through the middle. The Crows getting a break. Modra boots his third, and this is the biggest lead they've had in this game so far. It's out to 21 points.
There's both goals coming in this quarter from the boot of Tony Modra. And he's really playing on a classy opponent today in Ashley McIntosh. Had a great game in the grand final last year on Billy Brownless. Kept him right out of business, and Tony Modra really giving him the run around at the moment.
The margin is 21 points. Testing time now for the reigning premiers. Pittman directs it nicely. They're doing superbly in the centre square. McGuinness looking for Modra. Somebody cast a plate down there. Boot came flying out. McGuinness again. Oh, superb football. Goes looking for Rowe deep in the pocket. White kept his head well. McIntosh in trouble. White scrambles it out. West to Wilson. Around the outer side he goes. And it's Lewis. Lewis, forward of right half back. Over the wing. Turley running with the ball. Bickley coming up to meet it. McDermott confronted. Does nicely. Back towards half forward. White should get a free kick there. Nothing doing. Groom on his knees. Gave it away. Lamb to West. Deep in his own defensive area. Worsfold the skipper now. Towards midfield and Pike. Don Pike across half back. He's got the job on Jarman. Jakovic and Smart. Smart did very well body to body. And again on the ground. Shocked it away though by Jakovic. Now Matera, who turned 24 yesterday, goes over the top. Opportunity for Harding. Back to Jakovic, or rather Matera, who's run on. Matera kicks and kicks truly. Great footy by the Eagles. They ran on strongly there. Either one of two could have finished that movement off.
Yes, the handball initially wasn't all that good to Paul Harding. But Peter Matera backing up brilliantly. Here's a hand pass, the initial hand pass. Not actually reaching Harding. Harding just tapping it on. And it was either Lewis or Matera could have finished it off. But Matera backing up beautifully. A lovely running footballer is Peter Matera.
Margin is back to 15 points, favouring the Crows. Lights on at Football Park. Great atmosphere. Kemp and Harding try to combine to get it out of the middle, but unsuccessful. It's Jarman to the half-forward line for the Crows as they go forward once again. Inside 50 with Maynard. He was under a ton of pressure. Wilson working hard for the Eagles. Now Kemp runs into trouble. Loses control of the football, but he applies a good tackle on Brown. Spills free to Pike. Don Pike, long and low, over centre, up towards the half-forward line. And this time the Eagles taking control as Metropolis. To full forward, Sumich. Not paid. Much to the delight of this crowd. And again, the Crows turning defence into attack as Chris Groom, who kicked a goal in the first quarter, has it some 65 metres out. You think it was a mark, Bernie?
Sumich definitely thought it was a mark.
Did you?
I would have been very tempted to pay it, Sandy.
Groom in towards full forward. Modra and McIntosh. To the latter, who goes with a mighty punch. But waiting down in front was Chris McDermott. Couldn't get a kick away, so he got the hand pass, but straight to Harding. But look at the tackling. It's ferocious. Groom again. This time he has more time.
Wonderful play there by Chris McDermott.
The margin is 15 points at the moment, but it looks certain now to be extended to 21. Matthew Liptak directly in front, 30 metres out. He makes no mistake. Liptak gets his first. And the Crows answer. 7-3, plays 3-6.
Yes, well, they're really playing magnificent running football at the moment. Here we see this handball just going astray, but look at this tackle by Chris McDermott. Terrific stuff on Brendan Trummell. And there's a very good pass. Groom to Liptak, who had plenty of space there. A wonderful tackle, McDermott, as I said.
Liptak, a dangerous forward. 45 plays 24. Crows running well at the present time. The crowd lapping it up. Wilson Claimed by McDermott. Star again today. What his 70's been at the Crows.
Connell warming up on the bench for the West Coast Eagles.
That tells a story. A very big story in the context of this game so far. Free kick to Pike. Pushed in the back by Jarman. Pike inside the 50. Simic did well to work his way in front. Metropolis from the fist of Rouvray pulls it back. Lee goes back. Takes the mark. Plays on to Hart. They're dangerous in this situation, the Crows. Smart. Is it right half back? Oops. Look out. Did well. Well, halfway well. Lewis. This is Hines. Hines pulls it back inside the 50. Bickley got a hand to it. Pittman. Rowe. Lee now. Lee runs it up to the middle to Wiedemann. Goes to McDermott. He's everywhere. McDermott storms through the middle. Assesses it pretty well. It's an open goal score. He tried to go over the top. Mott's getting a free, and rightly so.
And the player off is Harding for the West Coast Eagles. He's been replaced by Matthew Connell, number 42.
Well, McDermott sized it up brilliantly.
Oh, maybe a little bit high there from McIntosh. But a terrific build-up again by the Adelaide Crows out of half-back. 4 or 5 players running in support. Just providing a target for that hand pass. They do it so well from half-back, Dennis.
Yes, very well indeed. McIntosh doing the right thing in front. McDermott assessed it brilliantly and kicked the ball to the advantage of the man behind. Turned the defence completely around. And as a result of that, Modra kicks a goal. He's got 4.
And 3 of those goals to Modric coming in this second quarter. You see this run out of half-back by the Adelaide Crows. They do this so well. They just run in support of each other. They do it terrifically well from half-back. Got some pace across half-back with Nigel Smart. Hart plays a similar role to Guy McKenna in the back line. A terrific effort by the Crows so far.
Crows flying high at the moment. 8-3 plays 3-6. Back in the middle. West's kick is partly smothered. Pittman tries to tap it on. West again, dodging, weaving, twisting and turning, but he can't get out of the middle. It's eventually socket clear. Crowd didn't like it too much, but play on is the call. Rowe through without the football. Jarman. Oh, here's the go to Tregenza. He might have a shot inside 50. He will. He misses. Crowd rose with that ball, and they died with it.
Got plenty to get excited about at the moment, Sandy.
Yep. 8-4. Plays 3-6. Well, they described it, Chris McDermott actually described this as arguably the most important game of the club's short career. Pike from centre wing. They could prove something tonight. Turley in front. Was in front. Oh!
Being held, I think, Turley. Maybe kicking in danger just a little bit after the holding decision, Sandy.
So he's got the ball. That should be a free kick to Jakovic. But no, not paid. Pittman on to Jarman, who makes an uncustomary error. Crummel a chance if he can get it out. Kemp under pressure. Lewis there also. Jarman through to McDermott. McDermott plays it on towards Maynard. Now Turley. Could have a shot, Craig Turley. 55 metres, goes in towards full forward. Shepherding sees the ball, still goes. Simic was being held.
Oh, dear.
Well, Simic held, but in no free kick.
Well, it did appear that way, Sandy. I would agree with that. It looked like a holding decision let go.
Well, there.
And again.
And again, yep. Not much doubt about that.
Frank Simic making the point. Modra dropped one at the other end just moments ago. Why not him? Metropolis battles after the ball with Hart. Mind you, Simic has a lot to say to umpires. Sometimes it works against you, Bernie.
Are you suggesting too much?
I think so, yes. Even a little's too much, isn't it?
Well,
you want a brown wire.
Well, it can turn against you. Of course, if you abuse the umpire, they put those little things away in the back of their mind. If there's a close decision.
Yep. Now, Rowe's been penalised for scooping the ball off the ground. Really the only man making the play in there. Peter Matera has the ball. Forward of the wing. Goes in short. This is Hines. Right half forward. Can run to almost the 50. Long kick. They'll contest about 5 metres out. Jakovic, the big leap in from the side. Rouvray was pushed in the back as he kicked. Out of bounds on the full, says the umpire. Now, that's a pretty tough call because certainly that push influenced the kick.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a good effort to disguise that, though, there from Rouvray. He should have really just dribbled it off his boot. Jonathan Ross sitting on the bench now. He came back there with the assistance of those crutches, and I think the left knee was bandaged very heavily.
Yes, it was. Deep in the pocket then. Jakovic. That's a marvellous attempt. That is very close. Slides right across, though, and misses to the far side. Not by much. The Eagles looking to stay in it. 3-8 to 8-4, so just one scoring shot more for the Crows, but they've done very well on the forward line and taken advantage of their opportunities.
And 4 goals to 1 so far in this second quarter, going the way of the Crows. Heady, the flyer from the side. Got a hand to it, but couldn't take the mark. Turley through. They're very quick to pounce on him. And the final decision is a bounce. Just forward of centre for the Eagles. Hines wins it. Turley applies the tackle. Jarman sneaks away with it, however. Long, low left foot kick. Wilson waits at the back. The opportunist does well. The high tackle there's got to go the way of the Eagles. In fact, the advantage is going to be paid. Robbie West may pay dearly for this. Modra, 1 out now. Millie does well. Away he comes towards the half-back flank and unable to be taken cleanly by Craig Turley over the line.
Had a pretty ordinary year last year, Craig Turley. And starting on the bench again tonight, Dennis.
Yes, he's struggling, no question about that.
From the throw-in, Tregenza. It's a hurried kick down towards the 50-metre line. Maynard. High, here they are again. McIntosh got the first hand to it. Rowe, the left foot snap. He pulls it back, but not enough, and one behind. (8-5). Plays 3-8 with just over 11 minutes remaining in the first half.
Well, it would seem the Eagles will trail at half-time, but last season they were the best in the competition at coming from behind when they did trail at the major break. 1-4 out of 8. This is Mitchell. Mitchell White coming away from defence and bidding towards the wing. Metropolis was there, knocked away by Hart. Brown over the ball. Rakes it back into his body. Plenty of bodies there. Connell runs away with it, but the whistle had gone. So a bounce down towards left half forward for the Adelaide Crows. In front, Pittman. Jarman over the ball now. Anderson did nicely. Maynard with time goes to centre half forward. Broom, good mark. Puts his eyes on the ball.
The other player not having any effect on the match tonight, Chris Lewis. He was better last week, but again tonight, Dennis, he's just not doing enough.
Here's Groom. Directly in front. Kicks from right on the 50. Good looking kick from the youngster. Hit the post. 3/4 of the way up. It was a booming kick. Behind.
8-6. Plays 3-8. McIntosh again. Again, he's asking Hines to do the work. And that's a fine mark. From half back. Drifts it up towards centre wing. Heady. Smart. Bickley. A little bit of a throw.
He handed it to him, so the right decision paid there by the umpire.
Back to Heady on centre wing. Has kicked 2 goals. Both of those were in the first quarter. Brett Heady.
going to be paid.
I think the free kick, Sandy, over the shoulder.
Yeah. To Glenn Jakovic.
McKenna
He runs on. 60 metres out, Jakovic pulls it back in towards full forward. Good-looking kick. Some pushing and shoving. Sumic tries to soccer at the back of the pack. And eventually it's Anderson who sees it over the line for one behind.
McKenna back on the ground. I didn't even realise he was off there, Dennis. Why would you have McKenna off? He was almost best on the ground in that first quarter.
I think he's hobbling a little bit. He might have a corky or something, I think.
Crummell was the player to go off. So he came back on. Maynard on the outer side takes the mark for the Crows. He too's had a very good run with injury. This is his 46th successive game. The centre wing. No mark by Groom, but taken off hands and down towards Wilson, and Rowe falls nicely for the ladder, but McIntosh charges away from Modra. Pike does well. Oh, he threw it.
Set the umpire. Wasn't that a brilliant pickup by McIntosh?
Well, he read it well, didn't he, Dennis? He realised the danger was there when Rowe was out by himself. Just looked as if he could have gathered the ball and kicked the goal. He didn't stay back with his opponent. Just charged out.
No justice in footy there.
Jarman will be kicking from just outside 50. It's a long drop punt right into the square. It's through.
The name of the game is Australia.
There's a mountain of specials in store for you this week at Foodland, like stalk margarine at just 79 cents. Papa Giuseppe Pizza are low $2.99. Coke, Fanta, Lift and Sprite only $1.79. Arnott's Jats, Shapes and Scotch Finger Biscuits $1.29. Blade Bowler Roaster Great Buy at $3.99 a kilo. And Foodland Fresh Tomatoes just $1.89 a kilo.
Foodland, the mighty south of the year.
It's fantastic.
Incredible.
They say it's full of cheese.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
It's McDonald's Triple Cheeseburger. 1, 2, 3 slices of cheese, 3 all beef patties with ketchup, mustard, pickles and onions.
It is full of cheese.
McDonald's Triple Cheeseburger.
I wish this could last forever.
No, it's only for a limited time.
It's Mac time.
At BP, we train our staff to be quicker and more efficient. Not to mention friendly, which makes your local BP service station a better place to be now, and we're working on ways to make it better in the future. BP, on the move.
Monday on Real Life.
I've lost my career completely.
Whistleblowers, people who risk everything to tell the truth.
I was ostracised, neutralised and victimised.
Is this the real reward for honesty?
Who needs a new supermodel?
The world's most beautiful models together in an extraordinary advertising campaign.
You're so cute.
Also this week, Michael Hutchence in Excess, an exclusive interview. Real Life, 6:30 weeknights on 7.
Back in the middle. Hines has to wait for it. Pittman goes over the top. This is Maynard, who's been lively on the forward line. Jarman, the hurried kick out of the middle, down towards half forward. Wilson leads in the race. Pursued by Liptak. Hit nicely in a tight corner. Away comes Peter Wilson. Chips it out wide. Heady. Out against the boundary line. 9-6, 3-9. The hometown side in front and playing terrific footy at the moment. Can the champs get back as Pike goes down towards half forward? Strong drag by Lee. Tregenza out towards the wing. McDermott provides run on. Goes down towards Modra. And that is just a terrific mark. You can't do much better than that.
He's exciting to watch, isn't he, Bernie? He just sets his mind on attacking that ball and away he goes. He's fantastic to watch. Strong marks out in front of the body, reminiscent of Jason Dunstall at his best. And he's doing this in the last 2 weeks, Dennis. Terrific. Not a lot of pressure last week against Richmond, but under enormous pressure tonight from that man standing on the mark, Ashley McIntosh.
He's adapted tonight too, because last week they cleared out inside the 50 and made it reasonably easy for him. Tonight it's been more congested, but he's still leading with conviction. Great talent. And that's a fine kick. 5 goals for Tony Modra. And the Crows are pulling away.
5 goals, 1. He missed his first shot at goal in the first quarter. Said he's kicked 5 straight. And look at this kick from McDermott into the forward line. A great pass and a great lead from the full forward Modra. Brilliant stuff from the full forward Tony Modra, and a great exhibition of kicking a goal also. Well, he's proving himself under severe testing conditions tonight.
Back in the middle. The Eagles now having the job ahead of them. Jarman showing skill, but loses it. McDermott at the bottom of the pack. He's going to get a free kick.
Maybe the knees went in, Sandy. Is that what the free kick was for? There didn't seem to be much else. He's got the free. He wasn't sure himself, I don't think, Chris McDermott.
Doesn't feel him. No, he's a tough character. Great leader. Great leader. To the half-forward line he goes. Worsfold off to Pike. Suddenly silence here at Football Park. Only momentary. Heady. The Eagles have got to start something if they're going to get back into this game. They've got a chance now as White goes goalwards, but he pulls it too far. In fact, it doesn't even make the distance. The mark was taken on the last line of defence by Rouvray, who's got to go back and take his kick.
Yes, and I wonder why. He was off. It seemed to be a fair enough decision by Rouvray to take off there. What do you think, Dennis? Seems to wait for time, doesn't it?
Very pedantic. I think he crossed the line there and wanted to kick from... They started off from outside the line on the angle, but they're very pedantic.
Another man who's done pretty well too, Pittman tonight.
Yep, plays on quickly to McDermott, who's at this stage getting more kicks than hand passes in this game, which is somewhat unusual. Wilson chops his way clear, goes up towards the 50-metre line, can't be controlled, and it's out of bounds in that position. Seeing it over with Ben Hart, but this crowd will give them a standing ovation. This home side when they leave the ground at half-time, you can bet your life. Handballs, as you can see, the way of the Crows. They've used it pretty well. Matera, high, in towards full forward. Sumic.
Good use of the body, Peter Sumic.
Very good mark, wasn't it?
That was a good mark. I think Rouvray suggesting that the ball spilled to the turf. Pretty hard to tell from that angle, and the umpire also looking at it from that position.
Still looking for his first for the night.
Not his first kick, though. He's had plenty of those.
He's had those, yeah.
3 behind so far to Peter Sumic.
Well, let's see if he can open his account. They badly need one. Peter Sumic shoots for goal. I think he's missed again. Oh, he has missed again. Well, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. What's that, 4 points, Bernie?
Yes, 3 in the first quarter, now 1 in this second term.
There's Maynard. There's a right half back. Sumic looking very downcast, but he's making 50,000 people very happy. On the wing, it falls to West. Lamb at close quarters to White, who boots it down towards left half forward. It pitches a couple of times and runs away from Tilly to be thrown in. Well, a lot of the running players, as far as the Eagles are concerned, are down as we have a little skirmish breaking out on the wing. The emergency umpire is out there, ruining his Sunday night. Brown over the ball. Turley's in there. Brown does well. Well played by Lewis to knock it away from McGuinness. Lewis close to the boundary line. Gains about 15 metres. It's still in. Did that come off Rouvray's boot? Simic thought it did. Boundary umpire didn't think so. It'll be thrown in. Rouvray doing a very good job. Simic getting the ball, but not finishing. Well done by Pittman. Or was it? Lamb. Hurried kick. Bounces out of bounds. Hit the post on the bounce. So another throw in. There's the veteran, Wayne Lamb. There's the time remaining. And the scoreline lopsided at the present time. Smart was taken high. Must get the free. White clamping down over that right shoulder.
Nigel Smart going the long way out of trouble. Tucked in the back pocket is McGuinness. He might go over the top to Smart again. And back again he goes. Now they're away. Anderson. Long up towards centre wing, but only as far as centre wing and McKenna, who had a great start to the game. Back on the ground now after spending some time on the bench. Gives it to Kemp.
He spears one in towards half forward, but McGuinness was still there, and he takes the mark. One of the evergreen players of the league, Tony McGuinness. To centre wing. Drops short for Brown. Hurried kick, not very pretty, very high. Difficult one to take. Hines goes back towards centre wing. Metropolis drops what he should have taken, and then they pounce upon him and lock it up.
Well, he should have taken the mark in the first place, shouldn't he? Dropped a sitter.
He's getting a free now.
Or was he dealt with a bit harshly there by the Adelaide players? Was that the problem? I think the umpire initially was going to bounce it.
It's the signal for the sleeper hold, I think.
To the 50-metre line. Shades of Mario Milano. And over it goes.
It was Mark Lewin who had the sleeper, Sandy. I don't want to pick you up. Were they the days? Throw it on the outer side. There's the time remaining till half-time. So the Eagles need a late goal here if they can manufacture something. They're a chance. No. Adelaide have generally dominated those packs. And again there as Brown swings it around the outer side. McDermott battling with Pike. Out it comes. Anderson controlled it well. Sweeping hand pass to the run of Brown. Brown goes down towards half forward. Maynard in front. Could have almost got a free. Nothing doing. McKenna slaps it away. Pike to Wilson. Little chip down towards the wing. Anderson did nicely. Kept it in front. Kept it going. Brown too long. Run down well by Kemp, who moves on to the next man. Great defence. Pike grabs it as a result of Kemp's good work and boots it down towards half forward. Hart goes down. Picked up by White. Lays it off at close quarters. Matera, the will of the West. Hart against the boundary line. Pulls it down towards the pocket. Sumich and Rouvray. And the latter is the master. Hits the ground running. Away comes Jarman. Now look out, Eagles. They're storming down the ground again. Smart goes over the top for Regenza. No side in the league is better when they're moving the ball forward. Maynard, 55 metres out. Long kick. Modra down there. McIntosh did well. There's the siren. Half-time at Football Park, and they are standing. Well, he's not. They are. Most of them are. Tony Modra, a star in the first half with 5. And the Adelaide Crows, at least for a half tonight, proving they're for real. An outstanding performance. They lead 66-28. David Hines scratching his head, and I think that would mirror the reaction of Michael Malthouse at halftime. He's been superb, McDermott. And listen to this roar now as the SA Heroes leave Football Park, protecting a lead of 38 points. Half-time in the game of the round. Adelaide 10-6, West Coast 3-10.
The name of the game is Australia.
Now that the footy's back, what will you be doing this weekend? Footy. Get up and get into it.
You know, my dad used to say to me, if you've got to go somewhere, go first class. And this new Fairlane gear is proper luxury.
I love the feeling of safety you get in a big car. And now with anti-lock brakes as standard, Fairlane is safer than ever.
I would drive anything with a V8. Ford V8, of course. I've always said it's not a luxury, it's a necessity.
I've driven a lot of Fairlanes, but this one has got to be the best.
It's on now. The Solomon's Channel 7 $25,000 magic carpet giveaway.
Ho-ho! It's easy. Just buy any beautiful Godfrey Hirst carpet from Solomon's during April, and if you're one of 5 lucky people, you can win back the money you paid up to a maximum of $5,000.
It's magic. Yes, purchase your new Godfrey Hirst carpet now and be a part of the Solomon's Channel 7 $25,000 magic carpet giveaway.
Buy now, get lucky, and you could get your money back, but only during April. And only at Solomon's.
Welcome back to Football Park, and a huge roar has just gone up because the home side, the Crows, have returned to the arena after kicking 10-6 in the first half and restricting the Eagles to 3-10. We've mentioned all the top sporting specials are coming your way on 7, and that includes 7 Nightly News. This week we've got
A special report on one of the game's greats, Brent Croswell. 222 games, he was a legend. But today, Brent Croswell has trouble walking around the block. Struck down by a debilitating disease, he's virtually a prisoner in his own Hobart home. This week, we tell the tragic tale of a great athlete who's fighting the toughest opponent he's ever come across. That's Brent Croswell. Another 7 nightly news special. I certainly hope that you can join us for that. But now we're back to the live action with the Eagles also out on the ground. He's very good at getting places. How did you fare at half-time, Max?
Well, I fared reasonably well, I think it'd be fair to say, Sandy. Just on the conditions here, conditions ideal. I've still got the short sleeves on, so that's a pretty good sign. Now, from the Adelaide rooms, it's a handy lead, but we've got to make sure we don't blow it. David Pittman, the boys, really giving him a rap for his efforts. Corns wants the desperation to continue from the centre bouncers. Keep looking for Tony Modra up forward. Give him plenty of space. He's kicked 5 so far. I think that takes his total to 15 for the season. The delivery perfect right around the ground. He said he can't fault it. But again, whatever we do, we've got to stay in this game. There is another half to play. Michael Malthouse. Well, we did get into the West Coast rooms, but Michael took them to the room within the rooms there. He held them for about 15 minutes. But as we all know, sides like the West Coast Eagles, good sides will come back, and I'm sure we'll see a much improved effort in this second half by the West Coast Eagles.
Thank you, Max. Max must be in charge of wardrobe at Channel 7, having the choice at the ground of either the long sleeves or the short sleeves. Great versatility.
A room within a room. Must break your heart when you think you're in.
Well,
and they all go.
The big question is, can the Eagles come back, Dennis?
I don't think so. Not from here. That centre square is destroying them. They get a lot of talent in the centre square to the Adelaide Crows. And as a result, they move the ball pretty quickly, although they do it out of defence as well.
Yes, this was one of the great passages, Bernie, was it not?
Yes, coming from half-back, they set up so many attacks there. You see the hand pass over to McDermott. They run all the time, the Adelaide Crows, in support of each other. Nothing McIntosh could do about that one. Modra, terrific mark in front of his face.
So here we go. Second half at Football Park. Maynard, Jarman. Sends the Crows down to half forward. Jakovic.
That's in half back, Sandy.
Flicks it back in the middle. Yes, he's been moved. Pike gets it away. So a number of changes made. Back to Jakovic again. And White takes the mark just forward of centre.
Plays on quickly. Sorry, Sandy. Centre half forward now, White.
Plays on quickly to Dean Kemp. Heady, however, caught behind. That is not the place to be.
No, he's on a tough opponent too in Bickley. He provides a lot of run out of the half-back line as well.
He drifted back in towards the middle once again. Jakovic tries to spoil from behind. Lamb gets a short kick straight to Pike, who goes long and low, up towards full forward, up towards Sumic. Rouvray slipped at the critical time, so Sumic has a snap at goal. Oh, it's an excellent looking kick and it's a goal. What a beauty from Sumic.
Well, it just makes you wonder how Sumic can miss 3 or 4 direct shots. Relatively easy shots. One from no further than 30 metres out, 25 metres the other one. And yet these are the ones he sometimes kicks, Peter Sumic. The very tough shots. Rouvray just slipping there. Sumic having a quick look. And probably not enough time to put the pressure on him there.
Margin 32 points. Paul Harding is off the ground, so doing the rucking for the West Coast Eagles, this man, David Hines. He took clean possession, but then lost it. Pittman did well. Down goes Maynard. Brown tries to work it forward. And a whistle now towards centre half forward for the Adelaide Crows, who have led at every change. 8 points at quarter time, 38 at the half, but the first goal getting it back to 32 for the West Coast Eagles. Pittman backhanded it down. Ooh, Anderson took one high. He'll get the free kick.
Pittman doing very well in the ruck. That shows with Harding still on the interchange bench, Dennis, and Hines doing the ruck work.
Anderson probing kick intended for Modra, well marked by McIntosh. Plays on. Jakovic, as Bernie said, back in defence now. McIntosh runs it out, boots it out wide. Hines does give them mobility. Well played though for Genza. Tapped it away from the running Hines. McDermott measures the hand pass. Pittman's in trouble, slaps it away. No real pressure from Lewis. Lamb going nowhere. Back comes Lewis though on the outer side wing. Chips it down to half forward. Good kick and a good mark. Lewis runs on. Well played. Close to the boundary line. Kicks towards the pocket. Wilson also on the forward line. Had Lee by the arm. And it's going to be a free kick to the Crows defender. Looks could kill.
Well, it looked pretty obvious, didn't it? And maybe, no, the umpire letting that go. But Peter Wilson, be careful.
Lee from the back pocket to the outer side. And a good mark taken by David Pittman.
He's filled in very well for Sean Wren.
Yep. Pittman's kick up over the centre. Well, it was heading down the throat of McKenna, but well spoiled and seen over the line by Chris Groom. He has a goal to his credit. That was kicked in the first quarter. The Crower Cougars out in force. Jakovic trying to do the work from behind. Jarman with a short little chip. Matera going nowhere. And he just gives a smidgen of advice to the umpire. Just ask the question. Perhaps high, but no. So a bounce, still on the outer side. Lamb, a hurried kick back towards Lewis on centre wing. With him is Wiedemann. Tregenza there also. A push.
Yes, against Wiedemann, just as Lewis took that hurried kick, forcing him to kick it over the boundary line. So a good decision by the umpire.
So back to centre wing and back to Chris Lewis. He hugs the boundary line, finds David Hines. Hines in turn into the pocket. He wanted Sumich, but poor kick dropped well short. Bigley takes an easy mark, gives it off to Rouvray, who comes through half back, kicks up towards centre wing. The Speedsters had the chance to show their wares. Clever play by Matera. He just taps over the top to McKenna. He goes up towards the half forward line. Heady, can he get clear? Yes, he can. Away from Smart he goes. Oh. But great interception by Jarman. Paddles it on towards Anderson. Anderson in towards the centre, and David Brown outnumbered. Through goes Dwayne Lamb with strength. Gets the hand pass away. This time it's Jarman who belts through the middle. Off to McGuinness, and the runners are away. McGuinness up towards half forward. Where's Modra? Fisted away from him by McIntosh. Down towards Jakovic. With him is Rowe. And eventually over the line it goes, and a throw-in on the outer side. So the scoreboard shows the Crows 10-6. The West Coast have an early goal in this term. They're 4-10.
Brilliant by Jarman, wasn't it? Through the middle there, Dennis. Fantastic play. Quick hands.
He's a genius with the hands, is Andrew Jarman. There's Tregenza. Through the congestion, it bounces down towards full forward. Modra, intended for Liptak. This is Groom. Some indecision. Eventually the big man comes away with the ball. Little chip pass. Awkward one for Rowe. Gathers it well on the half volley. Anderson. Taken high, was he? Yes, says the umpire. Matera's not happy, and Matera needs to be careful. Certainly the tackle finished high. Anderson with Matera bearing down.
In replay there, the tackle slipping up around the neck. There's no doubt. There's no doubt it had to be a free kick.
Yep.
He didn't duck his head. Peter Matera suggesting that, but he didn't duck his head at all.
He stood his ground with a lot of courage, Greg Anderson. He played 103 games with the Bombers. Left Port Adelaide in 1987. Back on familiar territory now. He kicks, and kicks thrilling. Nice steadying goal. 11-6, 4-10.
Yes, well, we're back as they were at half-time. Greg Anderson, the player kicking that goal. As we have a look at this in replay again, just slipping up high. He didn't duck his head, no doubt. The tackle just slipping high, and Peter Matera, you didn't really have much to complain about there. 103 games, Anderson with Essendon, and he kicked 60 goals in that period.
11-6 plays 4-10 here at Football Park. The home side in control. From the middle, McDermott tries to charge his way through. Can't do so. Hurried kick by West up to half forward for the Eagles. Offhands it comes to Smart. And he pumps a long kick up towards half forward. Who's waiting down in front? Maynard gives it out to the runners. Rowe, can he get away from Turley? He's still going, close to the boundary line. McKenna on his hammer now. And eventually he's dragged over the line.
Well, Groom could have taken that mark. He had his hands to it. It spilled out. It was a good effort. He's getting his body in front and just not holding those marks.
From the throw-in. Pike couldn't take it. McDermott, look at him working hard on all fours. Also there is McGuinness and Tregenza and Tony McGuinness.
Gary medalist when with Glenelg. Throw in again. Kemp at the back. Bit of fancy work. Allows him to get clear. Goes up the centre wing. Hines keeping the ball in play. Lewis leaves it for Lamb. To the half-forward line now. A bit of pressure on Bickley. He's equal to the task. The defence is knitting together superbly. Jarman linking in the middle, and he sends them down to half-forward. But once again, it's across that line that they fall down. This time McKenna takes the hand pass. Gives it off to White. Lewis was on 50. He juggled it. He looks somewhat mystified as to where to go. Eventually short, finding Wilson.
He's not gaining much advantage there. Peter Wilson probably about 10 metres closer to goal. It looks as though Wiedemann's now picking him up.
Oh, that was just so clever by Matera.
Well,
did you watch that, Bernie? He ran up to the back of the man who was kicking the ball and peeled off to the left, having committed Anderson to the right. The margin between the two of them was over 5 metres, so Anderson couldn't go between the kicker and the man on the mark. It's almost like a shepherd. Anderson pointed to pick him up. No one could.
They're having a great duel, those two. Matera from 49 metres. Doesn't have the accuracy in front of goal that Greg Anderson has tonight. Anderson has kicked two, one in the first and one in the third. Matera booted one in the second, and lively competition. Good to see.
This is Lee. Clever. Away so quickly, and Tregenza, the speedster, goes around the outer side. High kick down towards half-forward. The Eagles have got the numbers. McKenna almost. He's going to get a free kick. Ryan McKenna, who started so well, took a knock and missed the best part of the second term. This is Worsfold, who's been resolute in defence. Comes out to Wilson. On down the ground is Hetty, demanding the ball. He's got it now, forward of the wing. Now where to? This is where the problem generally has started tonight. Sumic outnumbered. Matera with brilliance. Bacon goal square. How will it run? The wrong side. The conventional leg break.
4-12.
And 1-3 to Peter Matera. Peter Sumic has kicked 1-4.
Yes, it's been considerable time since he's been held the way he has tonight. Back into play and straight down the middle. White with one of the flyers, and he's quick to apply the tackle. And a bounce. Between centre and half-forward for the Eagles. Rodney Maynard hasn't missed a game since round one of 1991. Had an excellent run. Lamb. Short kick, but straight to Bickley. Off they go again. Tregenza. The centre wing. Maynard gets crunched from behind. He'll take the football on centre wing. Off to David Brown. To half forward. Liptak couldn't take it. Smart stands his ground. Now that was shades of Mario Milano.
The submission hold.
He's been very good, Nigel Smart, across half back, providing plenty of run from that position.
Just forward of centre for the Crows. Hines hammers it down. West to half forward. Wilson over the top. Got a call. Lewis and Hetty. Now Hetty's the clear. But he can't get there in time, and the ball bounces away over the line as Rodney Jamison prepares to come on midway during the third quarter.
Great back up there by Scotty Lee. Saw the danger and just went for the boundary line.
Pittman to Wiedemann. Over the head of Lee. They're not working quite as hard now, the Crows. Not supporting as much, as you can see in that picture. All Eagles around the ball. Metropolis to Wilson. High floating kick. It's got the carry, or has it? No. Right on the line. Rouvray took the mark and comes away. The kick ill directed. Good pressure chasing him out by Sumic. As a result, the Eagles will pump it back in. This is Matera to Kemp. Wilson is on down the ground. Runners in the middle as well. He goes across. This is Pike. Pike in short. Sumich comes on the lead. Great effort to mark. Good defence too by Smart. Connell over the ball. Socked away by Lewis. Still Lewis. Tripped over Kemp. And now Wilson tracks it to the boundary line. The Eagles not done with yet. A couple of goals here.
Looking better, Dennis, aren't they? Their attack on the ball has been much better in this third quarter.
Just for the moment, the Crows wanting to be a little too pretty and not working hard enough. Pittman hooks it behind. There's a worker. McDermott got it up for Wiedemann, who's still over the ball, battling hard. Wilson put the boot in. At the ball, I add. A little 1-2 close to the boundary from Anderson and Rowe comes unstuck.
The margin's 36 points. 13 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Wilson again. Wiedemann there also. A row through, but caught by Matera. Brian Sheehan, who's a very keen golfer, will come in and bounce. Handicap of 16, Bernie, if you're interested. Pittman. Lee does well to Anderson, who's forced onto his left foot and just wobbles at some 10 or 15 metres. Worsfold, Scragg, McDermott, Jarman. Can he get away from Kemp? Yes, he can. Rowe. To half forward. McKenna couldn't take the mark. Opportunity for Groom if he can get clear. On to McGuinness. The left footer heads for home. Pulls it out in front of goal. McIntosh will see it drift over the line on the pull.
Row off for the Crows and back on is Rodney Jamieson. Well, how's the hand passing though from Jarman, Chris McDermott? They just make the opposition look ridiculous in their attempts to try to stop them.
West. Up towards centre wing. Maynard will have to sprawl. No, he almost takes the mark in opposition to Craig Turley. But eventually Darren Goldspink comes in and decides upon a bounce.
Turley just hasn't done enough tonight, nor has Chris Lewis. Two players a couple of years ago, Dennis, they really provided the drive around midfield.
Yes, for Turley, a runner-up in a Brownlow, of course.
McGuinness couldn't take it. Lamb gave it away to West, who runs out of room.
Great smother. Thrown out of side, Groom and Jakovic. Jakovic in front. This is Kemp, who's tried hard. Lewis the strong shepherd. Connell, meantime, towards half forward. Wilson. Malthouse wouldn't be happy with that. Wilson over the ball. Lee slides in and will have a ball up. Out at left half forward for the West Coast Eagles, who need a lift. 11-6, 4-12.
It wasn't a great effort by that man, Peter Wilson. And I think he knows it too.
By the same token, hasn't been their worst player tonight. Fregenza, Maynard, Wiedemann from Fish Creek. Away he goes. Brown. Whoops. Intended for Wiedemann. Matera's got to get it.
He wasn't calling for the hand pass there. He wasn't ready for it, Wiedemann.
Away comes Matera. Back in the other direction. Lamb confronted. Gets the kick off. Too much carry on it. Intended for White. Hanging back Lee.
Matera didn't like the treatment that he received from Rodney Jamieson. He's just informed him of that. In the meantime, his opponent's going to get a kick. Anderson to centre wing. Maynard on the half volley. Back to Anderson again. It came from Jamieson. Anderson's long penetrating kick up towards full forward. No mark taken. McIntosh can't sneak away. Eventually Lewis does, and he finds a little bit of space, and he finds Matthew Connell, who in turn takes it on to Turley at centre wing. Turley putting the Eagles into attack, but Bickley is there. Hand pass goes astray. It's picked up by Heady to the 50-metre line. Wilson couldn't take the mark. McDermott's everywhere. So too McGuinness. Got time to recover. And again, he goes long out of trouble. Looks.
Yeah, it's in between two Crows players there. It looked as if it could have been set up for the Crows, but well done, Chris Lewis, taking that mark.
Off to Heady. Sumich. 52 metres out. Swings round, kicks it high. Smart underneath it. Also there was Pittman. Still Smart.
Oh, great vision. And Tony McGuinness will just bounce his way out of defence. Fine play as the Crows out of trouble in the middle.
Bloom has the ball on the wing. Goes by hand to Bickley alongside the centre circle. Bickley out wide to accommodate the lead of Modra. McIntosh is there, got a timely fist in. Modra still leads in the race though. Oh, cleverly done. Brown now. This is Jamison from 35 metres out. Rod Jamison, great team goal. No, it hit the post. It brushed the post. Well, the crowd is celebrating. The faintest of touches on that one. Interesting, at the other end of the ground, I was watching umpire Sheehan. The Sumich came out and the lead. He appeared to be held. The umpire put the whistle up. Sandy said he's a golfing man, but he didn't call for that time for Peter Sumich, and Sumich would have loved it. Here's Matera from half-back, down towards the wing. Up comes Hetty, takes the mark. Red Hetty, a let-off for the Eagles. Had that been a goal, it may have been enough. As it is, they're still there. They're trying hard, but they can't score goals. McGuinness to Smart, and the Eagles will send it in again. They've got to get some return for this, though. Matera back towards half-forward. Good mark, Metropolis. He can go. Runs to 50. Great defence by Hart. Brought him down. Awkward half-volley. Rouvray. Rouvray could have got a free kick. Nothing doing. Well, they had the weight of numbers to bring it away anyway. It should have been a Crows free as Wiedemann got it to McDermott. And look at Tregenza. Run onto the loose ball. He's away. There's a vapor trail behind him as he goes inside the 50. Modra almost a mark, couldn't hang on. McIntosh crashes his way through. West against the flow. Grabs it over the top. Will it stay in? Connell traps it. Anderson's off the ground. Rowe is on. Meantime, the action on the outer side. This is Pike.
He's on centre wing. Well, these Crow fans certainly being given some great entertainment tonight. And on that occasion, David Pittman showing great judgment. Getting it about just before it went over the line. Is Mickey Malthouse
a worried man, Sandy, at the moment?
Yes.
Well,
they tend to start slowly, don't they, Bernie, and they build up the Eagles.
Yes, well, they did last year. Their early season form was very ordinary, losing to Sydney in Sydney.
Jakovic across half-back. Lewis on the half volley. Oh, trapped it well, but he needs help. He's got none. There were three of them that set upon him. If it comes to Rowe, he could be clear. Maynard couldn't take it either. Matera asked the question. Turley over the top, and the answer is in the affirmative.
Very tough.
For Peter Matera. Been a great duel that he's had tonight. Worsfold.
He's probably been the Eagles' best player, Sandy. I'd say Peter Matera.
Yep.
This quarter he's been very good.
Kearney. On centre wing. Probably go over the top, the Worsfold. And does. He in turn short to Hines. On the Lamb, 52 metres out. Dwayne Lamb of Sumich. And he will goal from just 6 or 7 metres out. Directly in front. Has only kicked the one tonight, but he's been off target.
Lamb's having a very good term.
There's Lamb who's picking up McGuinness. McGuinness also doing fairly well in the back half, Dennis, but that's where he's been forced to play most of this quarter.
This for the Eagles' 5th goal. He gets it.
The name of the game is Australia.
The international version of Magna is making a big noise overseas. One reason is that it has a great V6 engine. Now Mitsubishi is proud to introduce the Magna V6 to Australia. Luxurious, refined, and with all the power you need. The Mitsubishi Magna Executive V6, sedan and wagon, a welcome addition to the Magna range.
Outlaw, lover, hero,
Van Damme as you've never seen him before. Nowhere to run.
At BP, we like to think our new service stations are the best in the world, which is why our special fact-finding team is constantly checking, as unobtrusively as possible, how well our stations are maintaining the standard.
Thank you.
We're pleased to say the results have been very encouraging. But why not come and check us out for yourselves? BP, on the move.
I want you to call me every day.
It happens to thousands of teenagers daily.
Why didn't call?
It's every parent's nightmare.
I think we should go to the police.
A mother's heartbreak.
My God, what do I have to do to make people understand my son?
A harrowing true story of a family that must face the unthinkable.
These are not his signatures.
And deal with the unimaginable.
Oh, my God.
Arnott Scotch Fingers presents Ellen Burstyn in the television premiere.
How could he just disappear?
Into Thin Air, Wednesday, 8:30 on Channel 7.
The margin is 31 points. If they can rein it in inside 5 goals, who knows? You look back over their recent efforts, the West Coast Eagles, they didn't become champions last year by giving it away as Wilson gets it out to Matera. They've had a lot of the ball in this quarter. Matera goes down towards half forward. Metropolis in front, knocked away by Hart. Slapped back by Metropolis. Hart was held a long time in the tackle. Play goes on. Metropolis to Matera inside the 50. Going back, White, the clever mark. Against very formidable opposition there. Smart, a fine player. White did well.
And what a quarter, Peter Matera. He's been in everything. Anderson on the bench for the Adelaide Crows, which just shows what sort of influence Matera has had on the game in this third quarter.
Mitchell White on the forward line. Could have easily been a Crow after living in Adelaide. But the Eagles got him as a pre-draft selection in 1990. And he'll kick from just inside the 50. This is a very important kick. 73 plays 42, but the Eagles are coming. Mitchell White, good-looking kick. It's swinging. It hits the post. Well, Jamison did it at the other end a few moments ago. And White repays them in kind.
5:13 plays 11-7. Not a lot of time left in this final quarter. Hart goes to the half-back line. Back to Chris Lewis.
Matera's kick.
And he
covering
will
a lot of
return
ground,
it to Peter Matera, who's absolutely everywhere.
He'd appreciate Anderson being off too, I'm sure.
Not a very good kick on that occasion. Tregenza close to the boundary line. Metropolis, not very pretty work going on down there as we go down to the boundary line and Max Stevens.
Well, Greg Anderson just having a break at the moment. Graham Corns did this last week after he'd played about 2.5 quarters, and then he came back on and burnt, so I think you'll see him back on in the last quarter.
Thank you, Max. Hines and Pittman in there once again. And eventually the ball is booted clear down towards Turley, who's had no major influence on the game. In fact, has been quiet. He's on the boundary line at the moment with Rodney Maynard. Throw in. The Eagles desperately wanting a couple of goals to give them some hope in the final quarter, and they could do it. McGuinness over the line once more. Pittman and Hines. Maynard got a hand to it but couldn't get it away. Wiedemann towards the boundary line. They're bottled up on that outer side here at Football Park. Full house tonight, probably 45, 46,000 fans here. In fact, some have been forced to stand in aisles and laneways just to get a view of proceedings on the ground. Wiedemann ripped off the football, comes back to him, gives it to McGuinness. He gets a short chip out towards the defensive 50-metre line. Now, can the Eagles start something? Should be a free kick for a trip. No, play is allowed to go on. Now the whistle has sounded. Bickley is away. Advantage must have been paid, and Bickley bounces his way out of defence. He's down to centre wing. What can they set up now? Over the top he goes to Liptak. Forward and centre.
Up towards full forward. And Modra is the target. And acrobatically, he can't quite take the mark. Right over the boundary line. And he saw that line and he said, that's exactly where I'm heading. Let's get out of trouble here smartly.
Great attempt by Modra. White going nowhere. The man in front was Brown, so Brown and White. 11-7, 5-13. Bounce in the pocket. Jankovic in front. Groom will fly from behind. Liptak, he's dangerous. Across his body. Out of bounds on the full. Always gets him.
Jankovic, no influence tonight either, Dennis. At either end of the ground. Kevin Sheedy was wrapped in his performance last week. He was rating him a Brownlow chance. If not this year, at some stage in the future.
McKenna to the outer side. Pittman over the top. Kemp, hurried kick, keeps it in. Chance for the Eagles. They've got the numbers. This is Hines. Towards half forward. Wilson drops the mark. Lee. Got it to Bickley. And now McGuinness away from halfback. Man on in the middle. That's Brown. Alongside the center circle. David Brown. Kicks it down towards center half forward. Jankovic over the top. Got hands to it. Smart does well. Worked it in front. Liptak. Open goal. Puts it through. Right on the siren. Matthew Liptak gets his second after Nigel Smart kept his head down and worked it forward against the odds. So three-quarter time. And the Crows are very timely, steadying goal. 12-7-79. Lead the West Coast Eagles. 5-13-43.
The name of the game is Australia.
7 News Monday.
9:30 Thursday.
A great story of survival.
The true story of 16 men and a 72-day ordeal.
To survive in the frozen wilderness, they ate the flesh of those who died.
Alive, the miracle of the Andes. Thursday on 7.
Three-quarter time here at Football Park. A low-scoring third quarter, but a vital goal right on the siren sees Adelaide 12-7-79. The West Coast of 5-13-43. Next week, round 3, and it's over 3 days, of course, the Easter weekend. On Saturday, the Lions and the Dogs. And St Kilda clashes with Sydney, whilst on Sunday, Brisbane plays Melbourne. And in the later game, the West Coast play host to Richmond. Whilst on Monday, 3 big games. Essendon plays Collingwood. That should be a beauty. Carlton plays Hawthorn. And Geelong plays North Melbourne. The Adelaide Crows will be hoping for a solid win tonight so that they can enjoy their bye next week. Down to the boundary line once again for his report, Max Stevens. Max?
Thanks, Sandy. Well, that breeze at the moment coming up just a whisker, maybe 2 goals in it, going right to left of screen. We'll have to wait and see, but it's definitely a lot stronger than it was earlier this afternoon. Now, the Eagles are far better quartered. Their attack on the ball was far stronger that term. Their defence, they manned up a lot, and Michael Malthouse said they kept the Crows at bay a little. Now, the interesting thing, Michael Malthouse, having a listen to him there at three-quarter time, he's not ranting and raving. He's not overly concerned. And I think the point he made before the game, what people have to remember, is it's only round 2. Graham Corns, well, last week, Rod Jamieson came on in that third quarter and helped seal the game for the Crows against Richmond, and he's tried that move again. We'll have to wait and see if that pays off. Also, Greg Anderson, Graham Corns having a quiet word to him at three-quarter time. As I said before, he's not injured. He did take him off in the third quarter last week, and hopefully he too will be back on. But then again, playing on Peter Matera, his legs may be a little tired. And in all, Graham Corns reasonably happy, but he said there's one big problem. They've let the West Coast back into this game, and although they're nowhere near the lead, they can definitely get back. As we said before, good teams like the Eagles are teams that will definitely come back.
Thank you, Max. And with that breeze coming up, Max, still you've decided to stay with the short sleeves.
Yes, Sandy will be definitely staying with the short sleeve. I was a little concerned after half-time because a light drop of rain fell, and I thought I might have to put the overcoat on, but that isn't the case.
All right, thank you, Max, on the boundary. Let's have a quick look, gentlemen, at some stats.
Well, third quarter stats, West Coast Eagles doing pretty well in the kicks department. Handball still in favour of Adelaide. They're very strong in that department, especially across half-back. And top in the air, 23-8. That's a big margin there in favour of the West Coast. They did particularly well around midfield. Peter Matera absolutely brilliant in that quarter. And Greg Anderson still sitting on the bench for the Crows at the start of the final term. The match stats, well, the handballs, look at that, 121-74. Terrific stats by Adelaide. They do so well across the middle of the ground. McDermott and Jarman did go out of it a little bit in that third term.
And so the scene is set for the final quarter here at Football Park. A very handy goal on the siren by Matthew Liptak sees the Crows going in with a good lead. 79 plays 43, 12-7 to 5-13. So the Eagles are going to need the first 2 or 3 if they're going to come back. Here's the centre bounce. Hines running probably 25 metres as he charges at Pittman. Misses the ball. It comes out wide to John Worsfold. Worsfold's kick up towards half forward and Matera. He's been out there all guns blazing. Peter Matera. Jarman.
Free kick, I think.
A throw.
Well, you look at me, Dennis, that lead there from Sumic. Nothing for that. Did he stumble, or he seemed to be very close to a free kick there from Rouvray, unless he stumbled, but just seemed to fall in his back anyway.
Matera's 55 metres out. I think he's going to have a dip at this. It's a long kick. It's a beautiful kick by Peter Matera. Well, that might fire up the Eagles. Matera gets his second. He got one in the second quarter. The West Coast moved to 6-13.
Yes, he's kicked 2 goals, 3, Peter Matera. He's missed a few that you would normally put down against his name. Shots on the run that he really should have sealed early in the match, but he's been magnificent, especially since half-time. Well on top of Greg Anderson.
Back in the middle. 30 points the margin. And still plenty of time. The early going of the final term. Kemp run over the ball. Jarman keeps it going Adelaide's way. Jamison likewise. Still he battles after it. Well, Jamison over the ball, and we've got a whistle just inside the centre square. From the centre square, 14-4, favouring the Adelaide Crows. And really, that's the story of the game so far. Kemp, little toe poke out wide. West goes off the ground with more venom. Wiedemann in the road, though. Swings it out wide. McGuinness leads in the race. Lamb closing. They push him in the back. Not according to the umpire. It'll be thrown in. Down towards left half forward for the Adelaide Crows. McGuinness thought maybe, just maybe, he might have got a kick. One of 3 McGarry medalists in the 20 tonight for the Adelaide Crows. Pittman's got the ball. Round towards the boundary line. McDermott, good evasion as he picked it up. Lamb's over the ball, held in by Jarman. And a bounce. There's another. Talking of McGarry medalists. He won in 87, Andrew Jarman. He's been solid tonight without being spectacular. Pike goes down towards the wing. Wilson comes to meet it. Awkward bounce. He went one-handed, knocked away by Lee. Gets it out of bounds. It'll be thrown in.
And, of course, Greg Anderson completes the trifecta. Full house here at Football Park. That's a wonderful sight, isn't it, for sports fans? And Crow fans in particular enjoying their first home game of the year at Football Park. Hines up a little too early. Smart waits at the back. Paddled free towards McDermott, who twists into trouble, and Pike grabs him. Not before the ball spills free. Throw in on the outer side. 79 plays 49. Groom. Jarman. Clever. On to Liptak. Long. McIntosh, the first to recover. Just a little chip down towards the back pocket region. Matthew Connell puts it over.
That's a bad mistake there by the Eagles. McIntosh has been much better in this second half, although Modra hasn't had the opportunities he had in that first half at full forward.
Rowe going short. Poor kick intercepted by Guy McKenna, who blasts his way out of trouble. Up towards centre wing. Crows have the runners, however. Maynard gives it away to Bickley. Bickley threads a long hand pass up towards the half-forward line. McGuinness was the target. Worsfold takes him out. David Brown is there on Worsfold. Brown still working hard. McGuinness followed it down. He's inside 50. Heads in towards full forward. Modra at the back. Can't take the mark. Play on is the call. Picked up by Liptak. He goes short. Gives a little ground, but he finds Tregenza. And Tregenza will have a shot. The crowd gave him a couple of options, but he decided to go back and take his kick. From 49 metres. Into the square he goes. A cry of comeback from the crowd. It doesn't. It's hammered over the line for one behind.
Probably that breeze just having a slight effect on that kick there from Tregenza, holding up just slightly from that kick from about 49 metres out.
This man sorely missed in the second term. What he does do, and we saw in evidence just a minute ago, he plugs the hole in front of the full forward. Modra was rampant in the second quarter. This is Jarman. Look out, McDermott. Terrific stuff. What balance and what vision there by a falling Jarman. Jamison in trouble. Likewise, Smarty was taken high. He'll get the free. Well, some great skills there. The evasion initially of McDermott.
Well, the man standing by himself there for a long time was Rowe in the pocket. Worsfold now back there.
And of course the Jarman hand pass, and now a chance for Smart. He'd need to kick this because he ignored the man that Bernie was talking about, and Smart can kick it a long way. This will fall about 5 metres short. Connell. So behind, rushed, and McKenna will kick it in. Under 20 minutes remain. And the Crows 12-8, and the Eagles are 6-13.
Yes, the Eagles making no impression on the scoreboard at the moment. The Crows, a huge percentage builder last week.
Oh, taking a long time is Guy McKenna from full back.
Eventually gets plenty of distance. Lewis got a hand to it. Tregenza waiting down off to McGuinness from 50 metres. He pumps to goal. Bang! Look at that. That's the goal.
The name of the game is Australia.
When I buy a van, it has to deliver. And I mean deliver. This Mitsubishi Express does it better than ever. It's got tons of power, loads of space, and all the creature comforts. But at the end of the day, I'm running a business, and I have to make money. That's why I buy Express.
It's fantastic. Incredible.
They say it's full of cheese.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
It's McDonald's triple cheeseburger. 1, 2, 3 slices of cheese, 3 all-beef patties with ketchup, mustard, pickles and onions.
It is full of cheese.
McDonald's triple cheeseburger.
I wish this could last forever.
No, it's only for a limited time.
It's Mac time.
For this flash new gear, you'll be needing a fax and a pager.
And call diversion.
And a young doctor must have a mobile.
Dr. Boyd's surgery.
The fact is, Doc, only Telecom can provide your total communication needs. Fax and paging services, call diversion, even the good old phone.
You know all that new phone stuff we need?
Yes.
Did you know only Telecom can provide the lot?
Yes.
Telecom service. We're talking total communication.
Toyota presents the world's funniest commercial goofs. 7:30 Thursday on 7.
So back in the middle, 39-6-13. Hines again. Favoured by the bounce this time. Goes for the thump down to centre half forward. They've broken down there consistently. Bickley in the road this time. Smart, like a spring heel jack. White didn't have the ball, and I think he'll get a free kick.
Well, where is Smart playing? Has he just followed White down the ground? Maybe they've got...
He's on the forward line, isn't he?
He's on the forward line, yeah.
I like him on the forward line, actually. I saw a state game a few years back. He played on a half-forward flank, Smart, and looked very impressive. He's made his name, of course. He's carved his reputation as a defender. As Worsfold finds Matera, probably the two best players for the Eagles tonight. Probing kick inside the 50. Sumich up. Couldn't hang on. Kemp left it behind. On his knees. Rouvray. He gained about 5 metres on his knees. Jarman. Maynard went off the ground. Trying to go up the ground again was Jamison. There's an Eagle player down hurt. That's Wilson. Maynard to Tregenza. Tregenza storms up through the middle. The second bounce. Not a particularly good kick, but it landed on the chest of a teammate through.
Well, there was good pressure from Hines chasing and also Matera forcing that miss kick, but it worked out okay because Groom, the player in front.
Chris Groom from just outside 50. We saw that stammering approach in the first quarter when he kicked the goal. This one's away to the right, but how easy is that? How easy is that? 6 for Tony Modra. They won't be caught now, and they're going to win their first game against the Eagles in the home and away competition.
Well, here's the replay, and how easy is that? As Sandy said, a long kick by Groom. McIntosh not worrying about the ball at all, just waiting for body on body, backing back there for Modra. The ball dropping short. Modra just eyes for the ball only. As we know, he's very strong overhead, and read it well, played on immediately to kick that goal.
There's David Hines. The Crows started the day with a percentage in excess of 211. Now that will come down, but they've almost doubled the score of the West Coast Eagles. This is a great start for them, and Lewis off the ball got into the back of McDermott, who should get a free. Yes, it's coming back. Well picked up by the umpire.
Crude shepherd by Lewis. Unnecessary.
What a terrific player McDermott is. And as always, lurking at close quarters is McGuinness, who runs away with the ball. Connell going back with courage. Modra knocked it away. Was Rowe taken high? Down he goes, wanting a free kick. Play goes on. They've all stopped. Modra picks it up. The umpire waving them on frantically as McKenna boots it to the outer side. A touch too nimble for Hines is this man McGuinness. He breaks away. Back into the forward line comes the ball. Up was McIntosh, who certainly has tightened since half-time. Got a fist on that, and the ball run across the boundary line by Brown.
What about that non-decision, Dennis? Rowe, the player in question, he ducked his head, was tackled. It was high, but the umpire called play on. He must have been caught.
Sandy?
It's only early in the season, Vern. Don't worry. Play goes on. McDermott. He's had a good game. And so too is this man McGuinness. I think people at the start of the season may have been wondering about Chris McDermott. Can he carry through another year? Well, he started in fantastic fashion. Great game last week. Modra, 1-2. Play on, calls the umpire. So they do.
That's the Bermuda Triangle over there for the Crows.
Pike's kick is wide. Harding on the sidelines. Back towards the 50-metre line. They all want to jump at it. One has the mark, and it's good too. Now where's Modra? Unable to take it. The Eagles out of trouble for the moment from Connell towards the half-back line. McDermott is there. Smart is there. And Don Pike has cramp. It's an impressive scoreline if you're a Crow fan. Early days for the Eagles. Modra again ousted from it. David Brown. Not too happy with that decision as the tractor. McIntosh. Back towards the centre. Heady read it better than anyone. Just waited at the back of the pack and took it on the chest. Chips over the top to Pike, who's recovered. Down towards West. And takes a strong mark under plenty of pressure. Could be from Rodney Jamieson. It is.
Well, as I explained earlier, Sandy, if a player arrives late, as Jamieson did there, with no intention of going for the ball, and his attack is on the player, the umpire will play a 50-metre penalty. I know it's tough, but they're being consistent with that rule.
Crowd here tonight, incidentally, of 46,260.
Just falling short of the record here, which is 46,540.
West shoots for goal and has put it through. So he gets his first, and a belated one for the Eagles. They move to 7-13, but they trail the Adelaide Crows, who are 14-9.
There's Greg Anderson back on for the Crows, as is Paul Harding. He went off halfway through that second term and has just reappeared. Pittman has done pretty well in the ruck, and actually Adelaide, their on-ballers around the middle have set up so many scoring opportunities.
Robbie West getting the 7th goal for the West Coast Eagles. It's too little too late. Harding back on the ground. Anderson likewise. Anderson goes down towards half forward. Liptak with the pace. Thought about going to Tregenza. Now he chips it in for Brown. Too much carry on the kick. Room was held without it. Call for a free kick. Nothing doing. Away comes Pike towards the outer side. Heady is coming up to meet it. Gathers it nicely on the bounce. Lacking support. Heady through the middle. Goes towards half forward. In front, Turley. Controls it well on the ground. Turley across his body. Inside the attacking 50. Sumich is down there with Rouvray. Metropolis. Had it, then lost it. Picked up by Lewis, who scrambles it forward, but he's going to get a free kick. Chris Lewis only about 15 metres out.
Well, maybe that tackle from Wiedemann a little bit too severe. Here we see it in replay. Lewis just getting that kick off the ground and dragged down. He wasn't in possession. He did go to kick it off the ground, so technically a correct decision.
Chris Lewis should get a goal here, and does. 8 goals now for the West Coast Eagles. They're 8-13, and the Crows are 14-9. Still 13 and a half minutes to go.
Chris Lewis's first score for the evening. He's been picked up by Wiedemann, his opponent all night. But they look a little bit ragged, the West Coast Eagles. He wouldn't be giving them any chance from here, Dennis. Still 32 points down. I know there's 14 minutes remaining. But Adelaide have come back strongly in this final term. They've had most of the play on their forward line.
Back in the middle once again. 93 plays 61. Harding wins it. Kemp tries to get it out of the middle, but he has it ripped away. Anderson, well, it hardly travelled any distance.
Too high, I think, Sam.
And he's going to take the free kick. Yep. From the middle, he can kick a long ball. Opts for the drop punt and goes to centre half forward. And Modra was a huge flyer. Couldn't take the mark. What a chance to clear for the Eagles. Back pedals to McKenna. He spent some time on the bench, and Guy McKenna heads around the outer side. Anderson flew, but to no avail. And eventually over the boundary line goes Rodney Jamieson. Somewhat unceremoniously dumped for throw-in. So the Crows will be perched on top of the ladder after this game, as Wiedemann with strength gets through. David Brown just keeps it in play. Heads towards full forward once again. Modra and McIntosh. What a struggle it's been. White gets away from Smart and just chips away short to Don Pike in the back pocket. A very strange sight. I've just seen 3 or 4 people leaving this ground. They must be West Coast Eagles fans, because Crow fans will stay right to the end and give them a standing ovation. McIntosh to Worsfold. Well done, Tregenza.
Terrific, Tregenza. Attack the ball.
Off to Chris Groom. What will the big man do? He'll go long. David Brown's giving away approximately a metre. And that was to Don Pike. So he's not a big man. And Pike has it in the back pocket.
To the members' side, Groom in best position. Kemp came back on him. Groom is awarded the free kick. It's down towards right half forward. Likely customer goes in short. Fregenza runs on, takes the mark down towards the 50. Simon Fregenza. He's drafted by Footscray in the late 80s. Stayed in South Australia. Pinpoint accuracy there. Smart on the lead. He's got a chance to kick a goal from about 35 metres out. Sharp angle in the right full forward pocket.
You're right, Dennis. He does look all right playing on the forward line. Good lead by Nigel Smart. Maynard now playing at centre-half back on Hines.
I would like him at centre-half forward if I were a Crows fan. There goes Smart's kick, and that is a beauty. It's bending just a shade too far. It's very close. It's a goal. $15 goals to the Crows, 15-9 to 8-13. Smart gets his first.
Well, whichever end of the ground he plays, it's good to have that versatility. Nigel Smart started off at centre-half back, completely shut out Glenn Jakovic out of the match. A tremendous first half by Smart. I like the run that he provides out of half-back, Dennis, I must admit. I prefer to see him playing at half-back.
99 plays 61. Margin of 38 points. We go back to the middle once again. Harding trying to get it out of the middle for the Eagles. Finally, it's West who gets a hurried left foot kick up towards the half-forward line, towards David Hines, who's running at the football. So too was Bickley. Hines still going. Big man does well. Pulls it round his body and finds Metropolis just 20 metres out. Metropolis looking for his first. Been a relatively quiet night for him, but he's certainly not on his own. This for the Eagles' 9th goal. 45-degree angle, and he pops it through. So his first goal, and the Eagles' 9th. They're 9-13, but they trail Adelaide 15-9. The Crows next week having the break, so they'll be looking to really run this game right out.
Here it is in replay. Metropolis had a great debut, kicking 6 goals in his first game last year for the West Coast Eagles.
They missed the record crowd tonight by just 280. It turned out in force. I'm sure most of them would have loved what they've seen. Front page of this morning's paper quoting premiership odds. I wonder what they'll say tomorrow. Those people leaving early may have been going to get tomorrow morning's paper.
So the cup's already here.
Very dangerous practice so early in the season. There's a long, long way to go.
Correct.
That was Lee fisting towards half forward, and Brown, who's been busy. Jamison, Jarman over the top. Fregenza. Modra battling with McIntosh. Picked up there by Liptak. Goes Goldwood. He's off target. Behind. If you think back to last year, of course, the West Coast Eagles really struggled early. I suppose the low point came in Hobart. They lost to Fitzroy, but they came back. And of course, tonight, missing 5 premiership players. Mainwaring, Brennan, Evans, Waterman, Langdon. But despite all of that, you've got to be impressed. I think the Adelaide Crows are much improved. Here's McKenna.
Goes to the outer side to Kemp. Yes, the feeling here is that this has got to be the year. Gee, they do love it. Anderson round his body under some pressure. McGuinness been a fine contributor. Bickley storms through. Kicks up towards full forward. Modra and McIntosh, but McKenna running back into the pack. Takes a timely and courageous mark. We know he's got plenty of courage. Off to Pike. Back to centre wing. At the back of the pack is Jamison, but the whistle has sounded. And it's going to be a free kick coming back for the Eagles. Sting gone out of the game.
Eddie's been quiet also, hasn't he, Dennis? 2 goals in that opening term, but Bickley well on top.
Yes.
Harding. They've got it down to half forward. Oh, Sumich, clever tap on. The idea was right, but who's going past? Matera. He hasn't given up. Turley flicks it off. Lewis. A shot at goal looks pretty good, and Chris Lewis popped through his second goal in this quarter. 9-13. Plays 15. 10-13 it is now, and they close the gap once again, back to 27 points.
Well, that has been their best quarter, the West Coast Eagles. A good tap on there by Peter Sumich, being closely attended by Rouvray. A good tackle by Scotty Lee, I think it was, on Matera. And there's Lewis kicking his second goal, both coming in this last quarter.
Crowd getting a little nervous, but I don't think there's cause for that. As Harding gets it down, Lamb boots it out wide, but the Eagles have kept on coming. It's a terrible second term for them. This is West, dragged down in the tackle, but gets the kick off. Maynard takes the mark. He's played in every one of the 45 games the Crows have played in the AFL, and pops it over the top to McGuinness. That's a remarkable record. McGuinness close to the boundary line. Boots it through the wing. Up goes Smart. Quite right, Sandy, picking up. This is their 46th. Smart goes down towards left half forward. This is Liptak from inside the 50. Open goal, but he misses to the near side.
And missed everything. In fact, he had a chance to just lob it into the goal square because McIntosh left that area chasing Modra.
McIntosh goes in short. McKenna. Connell.
White. Claimed by Smart. Fine tackle and should be rewarded. He is. The advantage is paid. Jarman's inside 50. Heads towards goal. And just comes the wrong side for Crow fans. One behind.
He's got a lot of pace, hasn't he, Nigel Smart? Why he applied that tackle. That's the sort of run I like to see coming from halfback, Dennis, that I was talking about. He just applied a lot of pressure, though. He just persisted.
Like a man running on burning coals, Ben.
Turley. And a throw in on the other side. They must have gone out, and so it's a free kick to the Crows, taken by McGuinness. He's on centre wing. 16 kicks, 9 hand passes. Been another busy night. Inside 50 he goes once again. But this time the attack is held up by Guy McKenna. Thought about going quickly off to White, but now goes back and chips to Kemp. Put him under the hammer because Jarman came right at him. But he's able to take the mark. Off to Worsfold. Wider to Matera. Still he goes. To the left half forward flank and Heady. Dodging and weaving, but he can't get clear. He does get the hand pass away to Metropolis, who pops it up in the air. Matera in the hole. Probably should have taken it, but he's still going. He's held, and he will, as Bernie Quinlan suggested, get the free kick.
Dragged off by Wiedemann. And Peter Matera, would you say the best player for the Eagles tonight, Dennis?
I think so. Probably he or Worsfold. What do you think?
Oh, I think Matera.
What about for the Crows? They've had plenty of good players, haven't they?
Plenty, yep. McDermott, Jarman, Pittman,
the runner.
Smart.
Here's Matera.
Modra.
Rouvray.
Just inside 50. Swinging away. Has it got there? Yes, it has. So Peter Matera has kicked his third goal, and that's 2 for the term. He kicked 1 in the second as the Eagles move to 11 at 13-79. Adelaide at 15-11, 101.
Peter Matera, 3 goals for each. Has provided plenty of drive for the Eagles, especially after half-time. Anderson taken from the ground halfway through that third quarter. And he's a real class act, Peter Matera. Got plenty of pace and plenty of stamina.
So just over 4.5 minutes remaining. And the Eagles keep plugging away. Sign of a good side, really. As soon as the sting just goes out of the game ever so gently, they come back. Liptak has it smothered off the boot. This is Jakovic. Sends it towards the wing. Plenty of Eagles here. Interesting if they get a quick one. Well, a quick two. He goes across the ground and Harding can take it and break. There's a runner outside. He feeds the ball to West, who has to hesitate. Now he goes around Anderson, puts it up in the air. Sumic in front, fisted away by Rouvray, who's been so good in defence. Sumic picks it up, snaps it, goal, and he's missed. So the margin is just 21 points. Plenty of things have happened. But the scoreline, you've got to say, probably flatters the Eagles at the present time.
11-14, playing 15-11. Hart from the back pocket finds Rodney Maynard. Zigzagging their way out of trouble. Tregenza. To a congested centre wing. Jakovic trying to affect the spoil, but he can't do so. David Pittman is the man in front. No, is it Rouvray who's come down with Peter Sumic? Rouvray to take it on centre wing. Done a very good job tonight as he puts them into attack. And no shortage of flyers in this Crow lineup. A smart round his body. Down towards full forward. The bouncing ball, which way will it go? Modra. McKenna underneath. He can amble out of defence. Had a couple of choices. Chose Harding. Off to Lamb. Now the running Kemp through the middle. Goes to Hines, forward of centre. Time running out for the Eagles. Thought about the handball to Kemp, but then picked Sumic, who is being paid the mark, and Crows fans questioning it. But Peter Sumic playing on very, very quickly. He's got Don Pike on his own. He can run into the open goal. Pike heads for home and pops it through. First goal to Don Pike. And they continue to surge forward. 12-14 plays 15-11.
There's a 6-goal turn by the West Coast Eagles. Only 3 kicked by Adelaide in this last quarter. And the Eagles, since half-time, have really been able to string a few good passages of play together. I think it's out of their reach, though, but the crowd getting a little bit excited.
What about a quick goal out of the middle here? Yes. And the game is on. What a careless performance by the Adelaide Crows to a point. Players getting free all over the ground for the Eagles. Lamb, well done. They get it out of the middle. Kemp goes down towards half forward. Back goes Lee. Nicely done. Goes over the top. McGuinness, sensing the danger, working hard in defence now. Kicks it out wide. Intended for the boundary line, I fancy. And Liptak escorts it across. So it'll be thrown in. And the clock continues to run down. But Stephen Rowe waiting to come back on. Just a few murmurs in the crowd at the present time. They have stopped to a walk, the Crows. Pittman over the top. Liptak did nicely. Jarman at close quarters to McDermott. So the name players again come to the fore suddenly for the Crows. Out of midair by White. But the Eagles defending now. And that ball worked forward by the running players, the keys, the engine room for the Crows. Across half-back McGuinness, and then Jarman and McDermott stepping up immediately. Connell in trouble. Over the ball, Jakovic. Liptak. In goes Kemp. Kemp was pushed in the back and should get a free. 15 points, 101-86, standing between these two sides. And the Crows at one stage, I remember mentioning, talking about percentage, almost twice the Eagles score, and they were in the 90s at that stage.
Kemp towards centre wing. Good mark taken by Hines. And there's got to be a real sense of urgency if they're going to do anything. They've got to be quick, and they want a very smart goal. Bickley and Lamb. Bickley still going. Edged out of it. But he does have support through Hart. Off to McGuinness. He'll steady them down. Well, here they are. Captain and vice-captain will steady the ship, they say. McGuinness. Not a pretty kick. Pumps it high. Fisted away. Down in front. Pike. To the runners out wide. Goes to centre wing. And it's Metropolis. Came from White. To the half-forward line. Hines couldn't take the mark. Hart over the line. And another throw-in. And that should just about make it safe for the Crows. Harding spent considerable time on the bench up against Pittman. There's the siren. Victory to the Adelaide Crows. And the final scoreline showing the Crows 15-11, 101. Victors by 15 points over the West Coast. 12-14, 86. Well, their big quarter was their second when they kicked 6 and restricted the Eagles to just 1 goal. And that set up their first win in home and away competition against the West Coast Eagles. Let's go down to the boundary line. Here's Max Stevens. Max?
Thanks, Sandy. Greg Anderson, a great game, but just in that last quarter, everyone seemed to go asleep as far as the Crows were concerned.
Yeah, as I say, put the pressure on from word go, and I suppose that to their credit, they came back just towards the end there. But I think they got a bit close. We had something else in store.
Well, last week, you personally were very nervous before the game against Richmond. A little more settled this week?
Oh, a little more settled, but it's strange playing in front of a crowd that's just all supporting the club you're playing for, that's for sure. So that brings a bit extra nerves, that's for sure.
A couple of players tonight, David Pittman, I mean the only big man really on the ground for Adelaide, he played a superb game.
He really did, played a great game. He had a pretty hard task ahead of him, being the only ruckman, and just really stood up to the occasion and played very, very well.
Before the game, did Graham stress that you had to win the centre bounces and get the ball out of the centre first? That was going to be the key to breaking the West Coast?
I mean, that's sort of the key to win any game, to get the ball out of the centre, and I think that we've done it just a few extra times in West Coast, and we got up there.
And just finally, the transition now. You happy you made the move?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's great to be part of the football club, and it's, of course, it's great to be back home.
Okay, Greg, thanks very much for your time. Greg Anderson, Sandy.
Yes, thank you, Max, and well done to the Crows. Just repeating that final scoreline here at Football Park. The home side successful. 15-11, 101, West Coast at 12-14, 86.
The name of the game is Australia.
G'day Adelaide, I'm Yahoo Serious. Well, actually I'm not so serious in Young Einstein.
Yahoo rewrites history in the comedy movie that launched him to international stardom.
Where'd you blow him from, Curly?
Tasmania. What a ride! And coming to a cinema near you soon is my newest comedy, Reckless Kelly. It's the incredible untold story of the greatest outlaw of all time, who accidentally becomes a Hollywood movie star. But first, see you Saturday night for Young Einstein on 7. I'm serious.
Right now onto the edits. 25 minutes to 3. Don't forget we're going to be with you right through the 4 o'clock show.
You can't change the situation. But how would you like a second chance to choose your time?
Can tires make a difference?
Good you can.
25 degrees, it's a beautiful day and the surf's up, so listen to this. Surf up for you. Hey!
If it only saves you once a year, it's a good year.
Boys are back in town, boys are back in town. Well, the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town.
Don't miss out on buying your 1993 Camry Crows season ticket. Special new reserved seating areas have just been released and good seats are still available. And remember, if you buy your season ticket, your football dollars stay in South Australia. Call Bass Dial and Charge now, but don't miss out because the boys are back in town.
Boys are back in town.
Who's designing and manufacturing a range of irons in Australia for sale all over the world? And who's making energy-saving, long-lasting cooking appliances like this stainless steel fry pan right here in Australia? And can you name the Australian company who was first with a 12-month replacement guarantee on all their products like this Toast and Crumpet toaster? Why, Sunbeam, of course. Owned by Australians, making for Australians.
Choosing the perfect breakfast is like choosing the perfect fruit. It can look perfect, but a simple taste, no.
Your kittens, madame.
No, this one doesn't even smell right. Ah, promising. Very promising. In fact, simply perfect.
Hey, it's Beauty Jam. Perfect breakfast, Mum.
These people know real fruit when they squeeze it.
At last, the toilet tissue everyone's been searching for.
Oh, Rolly, stop that. Come back.
But until now, couldn't get their hands on. Purex toilet tissue. It's strong on softness. Holy wouldn't dream of using anything else.
Rolly?
This Easter, you get big savings on 250-gram Arnott's Twin Pack chips at Bilo. $2.19. Cheap chips? Bilo, South Australia's cheapest grocer.
Final scoreline here at Football Park. Victory to the Adelaide Crows, 15-11 or 101. West Coast 12-14, 86. And Bernie Quinlan, really that second quarter, the Crows booted 6-4 and were able to restrict the Eagles to just one goal.
Yes, they were brilliant around midfield with McDermott, Jarman, McGuinness, and also across half-back with Nigel Smart, Bickley providing a lot of run. They teamed up, they linked up very well across half-back through the centre and provided plenty of chances for Modder in that first half. And he was brilliant taking marks out in front of his body ahead of McIntosh.
Just look at some of the highlights, as we will, of the game tonight. They came into this game, the Crows, probably under quite a bit of pressure because I think after last week and the night game against North Melbourne, the fans had built them up. Well, you know, this is going to be it. And by gee, they did well, didn't they?
Well, they answered the challenge. They knew this was their first big test of 1993. There's been a few of the critics really wrapping them up, saying that this could be the year of Adelaide Crows and maybe a West Coast Eagles grand final. But as we have a look at the match stats, West Coast Eagles well on top in the kicks. The Eagles, the Crows, that is their big advantage, the quickness of hand. They've got some terrific players with very quick hands, Jarman, McDermott, McGuinness, and some very good key position players as well. Modra very exciting at full forward.
Centre breaks telling the story, 19-9, favouring the Adelaide Crows. Well, there's certainly some great incentives for the younger players of the game today. One in particular for those players under 21 is called the Norwich Rising Star Award.
He's a Blue these days, but Carlton officials are still gnashing their teeth over a decision back in the early 80s that saw Bendigo recruit Greg Williams slip through their clutches. In 1984, the man considered too slow won the Recruit of the Year award, and by 1986 was the Brownlow medalist. Looking back over the years, some of the youngsters who have been voted Rookie of the Year by the 7 sports experts have lived up to those lofty predictions. In 1971, it was a shy wingman named Keith Gregg from North. He was playing for Victoria the same year and won back-to-back Brownlows just a couple of years on. Some faded, like Frank Marcassani, the dasher from Fitzroy, and Philip Walsh, the magpie who wanted to be a tiger. Injury claimed Graham Jelly, the likeable saint, while David Glascott, star of the class of 81, had a long and distinguished career. The best of the 85 troop, Carlton Steve Silvani, continues to draw accolades. In 1993, $10,000 will be awarded to the players rated as the Norwich Rising Star. A panel of former greats in Ted Whitten, Mal Brown, Ricky Quaid, Russell Ebert, Gerard Healy and Chairman Alan Schwab will select the best youngster of the year. St Kilda's rookie ruckman Peter Everett is the first weekly nomination, following his outstanding debut against Geelong. The mobile 200-centimetre ruckman from Hastings on Victoria's Mornington Peninsula gathered 6 marks and 17 disposals against the Cats. To be eligible for this rich and prestigious award, the player must be under 21 on January 1 this year, have a clean record with the AFL Tribunal during the year, and not have played more than 30 AFL games by the time of the award.
Yes, fantastic incentive and a great award, $10,000, and a good start by a young St Kilda player in Peter Everett, but all the best to all the young players. All those players under 21 are in with a chance of that $10,000. All, of course, are playing our great game, and the name of the game is, as we all know,
Gentlemen, please. 135 football seasons ago, 4 sportsmen decided to change the name of the game.
So, you've got the posts between the posts to go. Why can't we use our hands to mark the ball? What about these posts? Stick up 2 sticks in the goal. We'll put the emphasis on kicking.
It's the name of the game.
Why outside? Why can't we pass forward?
The name of the game.
Keeps the game flowing. What do we call it?
The name of the game.
But will anybody bother turning up?
The name of the game is Australia.
Over the last 50 years, we've learned a lot about little Australians. So when we prepare meals for them, we use only the very best Australian ingredients. It's our way of ensuring that every baby shines on Heinz.
Yeah, I know what I'd like. I'd like a whole grain cereal, but nothing too heavy. Or light. Just a nice blend of grains. But it has to be low fat. With some fruit in it. Not a whole orchard, just a sprinkling of sultanas and a little honey.
I think we can manage that.
Thanks.
It's the wholesome, truly satisfying taste of wheat, oats and rye that makes it
Just right.
I'll have what she's having.
not too heavy, not too light. It's Kellogg's just right.
Thank you very much for the care you've taken. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the home we're making. Thank you very much, very much.
Say thank you with Cadbury Roses chocolates. Whatever the occasion or for any reason at all, delicious centres covered in smooth Cadbury chocolate.
Thank you very much for the driving lesson. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for taking us camping. Thank you very, 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 very much.
This Easter, you get big savings on the 2-litre Coke range at Buy Low. $1.78. Cheap Coke? Buy Low, South Australia's cheapest grocer.
Australian hockey captain Warren Birmingham, now dressing for success at Tony Barlow Menswear. Purchase any suit from a selected range from $299 and receive a free shirt, free tie and free shoes, saving you $145.
See Simply Red, Annie Lennox, Peter Gabriel, Rod Stewart and Prince at the 1993 British Rock Awards. Next on 7.
Well, he had 27 hand passes last week. Bernie, he'd be shattered, wouldn't he? Only 19 this week.
Oh, he's magnificent with his hands. Both McDermott and Jarman, 19 hand passes, 13 kicks. And both those players set up so much in that first half. That's when the Adelaide Crows got their advantage.
Peter Matera, he tried all night on that wing, didn't he?
Well, he was the Eagles' best player by far, 23 kicks and 4. He kicked 3 goals, 3. He missed a couple of opportunities early in the game, which was uncharacteristic for him. But what a player, tremendous stamina as well. Tony McGuinness, well, tremendous running rover, 19 and 10 in everything. He's got that explosive pace and good stats in that last quarter too. When they were under a little bit of danger, he went back into the back line and defended as well.
Steadied the ship.
Exactly. Don Pryke, well, pretty good for Don, 22 and 4, 10 marks. I must admit I didn't think he stood out all that much, but they're pretty impressive stats. Rod Maynard went to centre-half back in the end when Nigel Smart was moved into the forward line. 12 kicks, 15 hand passes, always ready to share the ball, and that's a good sign for the Adelaide Crows. They're not selfish players. Each and every one of them is prepared to give the handball off. Guy McKenna, well, he had a tremendous first quarter.
Do you think he was injured at all? Because he spent some time on the bench, didn't he, in the second?
Look at those stats. He's had 11 possessions in that first term, and he did spend a lot of the second quarter on the bench. I don't think he didn't appear to be injured, Sandy. When he came back on the ground, I just cannot understand. He was in total control across the back line. He sets up so many moves into the forward line also for the West Coast Eagles. He reads the play so beautifully. He's a similar player. I like Ben Hart also for the Adelaide Crows. They're very similar players. They read the ball very well. Exciting young players, but Guy McKenna, he's just got so much poise and balance.
Time now to check the CUB AFL 1993 Premiership Season League Ladder.
Yes, let's have a look at the ladder. Still very early days. As you can see, the Crows up there on top. Their percentage has dropped after their massive win last week. The Hawks are back in familiar territory. Collingwood, Fitzroy, Geelong and North Melbourne making up the top 6 at the moment, followed by the West Coast just outside with Footscray, St Kilda, Richmond, Carlton, Essendon, Melbourne Brisbane and Sydney. Next week, of course, it's a split round of matches, the Easter weekend. The action all gets underway on the Saturday. There are 2 games on Saturday. Fitzroy plays Footscray and St Kilda plays Sydney. On Sunday, there are 2 matches. Brisbane plays Melbourne, that's the early game. And then the West Coast Eagles are at home to Richmond. That is the later game on Sunday, whilst on Monday, 3 big games. Essendon plays Collingwood, Carlton plays Hawthorn, and Geelong plays North Melbourne, while the Adelaide Crows have the bye. So the Crows are successful, and we'll no doubt look forward to that bye. They were successful tonight by the tune of 15 points. A boom second quarter setting up their win. Certainly hope you've enjoyed all the action from Football Park, and from the Adelaide game we say good night to you all.
This has been a 7 Sports production. The 1993 AFL Premiership season is proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, BP Australia, Carlton and United Breweries, Telecom Australia, McDonald's and Foodland.